all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David, and you know what? Fuck it. If we're all about breaking the entire concept of kayfabe all of a sudden, I'm not a fucking noob. I've been in this game for like two and a half, 3 years now. I refuse to stoop to your levels of pretending, because where's the fun in that when it comes to wrestling, right? I'm as much of a fucking knockout as anyone, and I will fight you to prove it.
I prefer my wrestling where they just make work shoot. As you know, David, work shoots are my favorite part of wrestling.
Yes.
I am not a huge minority within the wrestling community when it comes to work shoots. I, like any internet wrestling fan, adore them.
Austin's favorite wrestler, MJF, brings him such joy every time he blends the line between reality and kayfabe, and it doesn't make Austin irrationally angry in one of the few major disagreements we have when it comes to wrestling media. No way, no.
I mean, honestly, I think him kind of leaning into reality is my favorite parts of MJF. I usually hate when he's just like, "You're all fat slobs. Your sports team sucks. You're a whore."
Oh, well. Also agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, so the reason we're talking about workity work shoots is because we're going back to 1998 tonight, to the king of work shoots, Vince Russo, era WWF.
The king of 3 edgy, 5 me internet weirdos.
It's kind of unfair. I think it's almost unfair to put this all on Vince Russo. It's like blaming Frank Miller and Alan Moore for comic books becoming grimdark, right? Like, at some point, a part of it has to be on everybody else also doing it.
This is fair. But that said, I think Vince Russo was like more egregious than the Alan Moores and maybe not the Frank Millers of the world.
No,
I'm on the fence with Frank Miller, because like I would like to believe
my hot take is that The Dark Knight Returns is severely overrated. Like, it's
dear.
I am very much on that hot take. Like, it's not even like his good Batman book is Year One, not The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. And like people like Sin City and shit like that. But like I like when it comes to Vince Russo, when it comes to, well, first of all, when it comes to like, you know, your Alan Moores or your Frank Millers of the world, they were at least trying to create something meaningful. The vibe I get from Vince Russo is that he was intentionally like crafting up the entire art form of wrestling in order to win big for the Fed.
I mean, I think he was just kind of going with what he thought the fans wanted at the time. And
well, yes,
in a way, he was right.
He was. But like, for me, it's more about like, on one hand, I do appreciate the innovation, some of the innovations that Vince Russo brought to wrestling. Like, he helped make wrestling feel modern and relevant to normies in a way that just putting on like banger technical matches can't. But that being said, my respect for it kind of stops at the like 5-head, everyone else in the room wishes they were the guy who said that innovation, because it crescented so much of the sport. And like immediately started to try like the lightning in a bottle that was Stone Cold Steve Austin. He he was kind of this perfect combination of Vince Russo's sensibilities, his own charisma, and the like perfect storm that was the way in which the Vince McMahon character gestated over time since the Montreal Screwjob. But outside of that, and outside of, you know, some of the other like bigger guys, you know, The Rock, etc. If you distill it just down to the Vince Russo sensibilities itself, they can't stand on their own, and that is so evident when they are being performed by anybody who is not named Stone Cold Steve Austin or Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, I think you could extend that to a lot of the other top guys of that era, but like, you know, like Undertaker, Mankind.
This is okay. That's
DX, but like once you get off of that like top layer, oh boy.
Yeah.
So it's funny that we are starting this with like a thing about how Vince Russo sucks, because honestly, you could argue that from a certain point of view, the Brawl for All is one of his better ideas, actually. And here's why.
What?
The motivation for the Brawl, let's open with that, because that's what we're here for. Tonight's episode was the first episode of the Brawl for All. So let's talk about the motivations behind it. There are a couple of different answers. JBL, for example, has said that it was because of, you know, at the time we were seeing the rise of shoot fight of world's toughest man, of like the tough man competitions and stuff like that. I mean, I remember TV ads as a kid for that kind of shit.
Also, real quick, one clarifying question on history. Is this after Vince like went on TV and super directly murdered kayfabe, or indirectly murdered kayfabe?
December 97 was the "we're tired of insulting your intelligence" promo.
Yes. So this is after that.
Yes, after that.
Okay.
This is June 98.
Okay.
And while I might buy that story, is like, why specifically did this tournament turn into boxing but with wrestling takedowns as a legal move? But for why this even started in the first place, from Vince Russo's own words about this, is that basically backstage he found JBL to be kind of a prick, and he heard JBL talking up how he could beat anybody in the locker room in a bar fight. And so Vince Russo was like, "Oh, I got an idea to test that out."
Wait,
Vince
McMahon. Vince Russo?
Very absolutely based for that. But yeah, so Vince Russo went to Vince McMahon with this idea, and like everyone hated it except Vince. Like Jim Cornette, who like other people who were uncreative at the time. Jim Cornette was like, "This is the stupidest idea Vince Russo has ever had."
Rare Jim Cornette W.
Bruce Pritchard, who is one of the bigger Vince McMahon ball lickers you may find in the public space, was like, "Yeah, this idea fucking sucked."
Pritchard dub.
Jim Ross, who besides being a commentator did have booking, was kind of part of the booking team as well as being head of talent relations at the time, was like, "This doesn't make any sense and is stupid."
Incredibly common Jim Ross dub.
Yeah, so like nobody liked this idea but Vince. The Vinces, Russo and McMahon. They liked it, so we're doing it. God. The idea of the Brawl for All tournament was a shoot fight tournament, completely voluntary participation, and you get paid a bonus if you win. And so because it's a shoot fight tournament, all of the top guys were like, "No way." I'm not even going there.
They don't need that bonus, first of all. And second, they're the top guys. They don't need to be part of this dick wagging competition.
Yeah, but the lower card guys who were hoping for some more exposure, were like, "Sure, I will actually start fights."
I will. I will take whatever TV time I can get, even if it means enabling Vince Russo's dumbass. Oh no.
Yeah, so the tournament ran for 9 straight weeks on Raw.
Oh
We
my
are
god.
not watching the full tournament. We
Thank
are
God.
watching we are watching 6 episodes of the tournament.
Oh.
Um so the first night of the Brawl for All tournament started the night after King of the Ring 1998. So what happened at King of the Ring 98? So let's start from the top and go down.
Work our way. Yeah.
Yeah, the main event, and honestly, it ties into both of the last 2 matches tie into each other. The main event was Kane versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF Championship, and The Undertaker versus Mankind in a Hell in a Cell match. You might know that one.
Wait. Fuck that one.
Yes, that one.
Yo. Wait. We're skipping that.
I will absolutely do a one-off episode to watch King of the Ring 98 just to
Okay.
make sure we can ever see that match. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, good. Because otherwise I'd be a grumpy boy.
So these feuds greatly tie into each other as time to give a rare Vince Russo W here. Vince Russo is really good at having characters and storylines intermingle and intertwine with each other. Whether there are good storylines, and sometimes it's just a lot of everybody running in and punching each other during every match.
Yes, he
But
did
it's
like
still
this.
an intertwining storyline. It's pretty rare for there to be guys who just like they are here to do one thing and wrestle one guy. And in some eras of the WWE, that would have been greatly appreciated to move away from that.
Absolutely. New generation.
Mid 2000, late mid 2010s WWE could be great.
Yeah, mid 2010s.
Yeah. So basically, at the previous pay-per-view, Over the Edge 98, it was Stone Cold versus Dude Love for the title. And
Hey.
basically, up to this point, Dude Love, we remember last time we were here in the Attitude Era, we ended off with the Dude attacking Stone Cold Steve Austin, seemingly out of kind of this like anger and frustration of like,
Yeah, as I recall, they played it as like him having an episode that made him switch into the Mankind persona.
yeah. Basically in the 2 months after that, Vince kind of tried to mold and manipulate Mankind, Mick Foley, Dude Love, whatever, into being his corporate champion. This was going to be his key to getting this belt away from Stone Cold.
Wait, is this in kayfabe?
Yes, in kayfabe.
Okay.
Yeah. Vince was like, I'm going to use this man's mental instability. That means he is very easily manipulatable. So we're going to use him for this. And at Over the Edge, despite stacking the deck hysterically in Dude Love's favor, Stone Cold won the match. Even though Vince was the referee, what happened is Vince got knocked out, and then Stone Cold pinned Dude Love and took Vince's unconscious arm and made it tap the 1, 2, 3 for the win.
Wait, that counts?
Yep. Vince said only by his hand will pins be counted in this match. And Stone Cold was like, oh, is that how that works?
Oh my God. Wow. So what I'm hearing is that every other person who's come after this, every other like fucking heel that's one off like some bullshit like ref knockout spot and any face that's lost off
They could do that.
None of them have been min-maxing properly by just knocking out the ref and just using the ref, landing the pin near the ref's hand and just using that's great. Thank you for that.
So having failed again, Vince has decided that, you know what, Mick, you suck, actually. You're a big dumb piece of shit and you're fired. Fuck you. Get out of my sight, you worthless sack of shit.
Yeah, see that's the treatment I would have expected Mick Foley get from Vince McMahon. You're an indie darling with like weird gimmicks. Out of my sight. Fuck you.
Yeah. So now Vince's new chosen champion to stop Stone Cold Steve Austin is Kane. Because he's just coming out of The Undertaker, his feuding with his brother, The Undertaker. He's the big bad monster now. So he's like, okay, Kane is going to be my man.
Yes, one mentally unstable
One
heel.
mentally ill, easy to manipulate wrestler replaced with another mentally ill,
Why
easy to
it's so
manipulate
good, I
wrestler.
think I'll have it a second time. I
Of
mean,
course,
at least Vince is a little more on the money with this one, considering Kane literally in the back end of his career became a actual fucking corporate stooge.
a, and of course, Paul Bearer is totally okay with all of this. He's like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, I can run out my brand new Demon Boy to you at a reasonable price, Vince.
Yeah, so basically, on top of that, though, is that the Undertaker. I told you a little this about this in Messenger talking about this, but the Undertaker's new character in talking about these workity work shooty shoot character beats is the Undertaker is now framing his time in the WWF as, you know, he came into this company and Vince used him to be a giant slayer to protect Vince's chosen champions, which is why he palled around all the time with the King Kong Bundys and the Giant Gonzaleses and the Kamalas of the world.
Man, that is an interesting concept, but it also like it makes Kane make absolutely no sense, and it also like
I mean,
makes
Undertaker can still have the demon brother murdered his family,
but
set the house ablaze shit.
but I feel like the fact that we're doing actually this was all a bit to like by Vince to like psych out challengers to his chosen stars, um and that's how we're gonna retcon the fact that I'm not actually immortal vampire wizard zombie boy so I can transition to becoming a fucking biker. Like it makes all that make no sense because like it's still a bit, and on top of that you have to question like Vince's supposed chosen champs were King Kong Bundy and not like Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, who
No,
are
no,
two of the
no.
biggest
It's
merch pushers in
no,
all of wrestling history.
no. The idea is that Vince saw people like King Kong Bundy as a threat to his
Oh,
preferred champions, and so he's like, send the Undertaker after King Kong Bundy so he can't become champion and
I
defeat.
see. Okay. So that
Yeah,
part does make sense. But yeah,
yeah.
it still makes Kane make absolutely no sense because you can't have your cake and eat it too. Can't have your cane and eat it too in this case.
Hey,
Eat.
so Vince, so Undertaker's looking at it as like, well, I've been the loyal company man for so long, so I'm gonna get my shot to be the chosen champion, right? To which Vince's apparent, to which he's like, and then instead, what happened is Vince let my murderous brother in the company and gave Paul Bearer a platform to lay out all my family's secrets, and he pushed
But
me to fight my brother.
okay, but he's no longer supernatural, right?
He's it's kinda.
Okay, whatever. Sure, fine, whatever.
So he's like, so Vincent, so Undertaker's like, I've had enough of, toeing the company line here. I am gonna take my fucking opportunities because I'm the dead man.
I can do whatever I want. I am one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
Yep. So Vince was like, All right, you can have your shot against Stone Cold if you beat Kane in a number one contenders match. Want. And in that number one contenders match, Mick Foley brought back the Mankind persona and just decided to interfere and screw Undertaker because he's still kind of
Oh.
because he's still, even if Vince fired him, he is still in the tank for Vince and Vince's chosen interests.
Yeah, mankind, he takes a little bit longer to learn things.
Right. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a few more months before Mankind
It's
realizes.
gonna be a hot second before mankind stops following Vince around like a sad, lonely puppy. Bloop, 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 he's lovely.
Yep. So now you got the four of these men all fighting each other, but on the same time, Vince basically at there's so much split beats. Okay, so the week after that number one contenders match, Vince was awarded a Humanitarian of the Year award, and
By whom?
there was some charitable organization.
Okay.
And he invited Stone Cold to come to the ceremony, and then Stone Cold was attacked by Kane and Mankind. And so after that, Stone Cold was like, Vince, fuck you, man. What was that about last week? And Vince is like, hey, whoa. Have you considered I had nothing to do with this? Have you considered that Undertaker has the entire motive, has all the motive in the world to do this? And in fact, you got put in a coffin last week by Kane and Mankind. You know who does that? The Undertaker. That's who. He is behind this. So Vince is trying to stir the pot of like some collusion happening between Undertaker and Kane, even though Undertaker is publicly saying, I do not like my brother. I'm not trying to screw you, Stone Cold. I am a straightforward man. I am challenging you. I'm not going to do this mind game shit. I
And
just
Stone
want to
Cold,
fight you
who's
straight up.
Stone Cold who's already feuded with Vince once and knows what a bastard man Vince is and how much Vince vitriolically hates him, is still buying this.
Well, I personally interpret it as Stone Cold thinks both of them are out to get him, both Undertaker
Okay,
and Vince.
that's fair. Stone Cold's a slightly paranoid redneck, son.
He is. One of his catchphrases is DTA, don't trust anybody.
Yeah, it sounds like a very Stone Cold thing to do.
Yeah, so as for the match on the pay-per-view, the main event, Kane versus Stone Cold, the last show before the pay-per-view, it was announced by Vince that this would be a very special kind of a match.
Oh.
It will be a first blood match, which
the
name is a little self-explanatory, but basically the winner is the first person to bleed. The loser is the first person to bleed. And
the winner is the first person to bleed. John Moxley has entered the call.
Yeah, you lose the match by bleeding. And if you can't tell how this stacks the deck, at this point in time, Kane is wearing a full face leather mask and a full bodysuit except for one arm, and Stone Cold comes out in trunks and boots.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. So like that's the delightful thing about like getting masked wrestlers is like seeing what the fuck they have to do to actually bleed, because you know they got that whole mask thing kind of covers up the whole forehead.
Yeah. And to add some stakes to this here contest, we got Kane. Okay, to be clear, Kane is supposed to be a mute or nears about. The damage to his from the fire is just so great. So he gets an electronic vocal box.
Oh shit, this angle.
Yeah, he gets this box, and this is the first words he has ever uttered on WWF TV.
Well,
he puts it to his throat, and he goes, "If I don't win the title, I will set myself on fire." So now, if Kane loses, he will self-immolate. He will set himself on fire and die.
I don't. See, I feel like he's pulling some hacks here cuz he's like, a fire controlling devil. I would assume he could just not be hurt by that. No one's going to question that? No one's got any questions about? Okay.
So the match itself, Stone Cold puts up his best effort here, but with the referee bumped and down, Mankind shows up to interfere, which is incredible because this happens after the Hell in a Cell match that I'm about to, talk about. He
Oh,
came back to interfere. He eats a stunner. Then out comes the Undertaker, and the Undertaker has a steel chair. He tries to hit Mankind, but Mankind ducks. He hits Stone Cold in the face, and that causes
uh-huh.
Stone Cold to bleed and lose the match.
Uh-huh.
Collusion.
Oh,
Conspiracy
conspiracy.
continues.
Is that a malfunction at the junction? I
Or
smell.
was it a plan the whole
Whole
time?
time.
But either way, Kane is now the WWF champion.
Oh, well, good for him. He got super over. I'm happy for him.
So, for Undertaker and Mankind, they had a match in Hell in a Cell. Basically, as part of the match, the bill to Kane and Undertaker and Stone Cold and all that, they were there too. And there was a tag team Hell in a Cell on Raw between Stone Cold. Yeah, the second ever Hell in a Cell match was just on an episode of Raw. And in
And it was
fact,
a
it wasn't a
tag
real
team.
match. It was
That was
mostly an angle
what?
where basically what happened was how they did is like it was Kane and Mankind versus Stone Cold and the Undertaker. And Stone Cold comes out, Undertaker doesn't come out to his entrance. And so what Kane and Mankind do is they leave the cage, lock the door, and then go try to 2-on-1 Stone Cold. But Paul Bearer is still in the cage. And so Undertaker pops up out of the ring, and then he is in alone in a cage with Paul Bearer and whoops his ass.
They've done a weird amount of like popping up in like popping up out of the ring angles in WWE because there was the like what's his nuts getting dragged down to hell by
Kane,
how
yeah, Zack Ryder, yeah,
how
they love
how
doing
do
that.
they
Those
how
two,
do they fucking do that? Do they have like a trapdoor in
yes,
the ring?
under the ring, yeah,
But like are they coming up through the like mat?
yeah, they come up through the mat.
What the fuck? So okay, that seems like an interesting thing to do with your wrestling mat, but okay. Seems like it'd be
Yes.
slightly convoluted to engineer, but
So after that heinous attack, the next week, the same week they do
pretty
the
funny,
set
honestly.
myself on fire thing. Paul Bearer is at home recuperating. And Undertaker goes to Paul Bearer's house and whoops his ass some more.
Yes!
He's even like,
Yes!
you think I forgot where you lived?
Why, I fucking lived at your funeral home for years. Why do you
So
think you're safe here, moron? Go into witness
yeah.
protection.
Yeah, so after that heinous beatdown of Kane's father,
That's amazing.
Mankind is like, enough is enough. Undertaker, I challenge you to Hell in a Cell, a King of the Ring. And then in the most famous
So,
Hell in a Cell match ever, but
yeah.
continue.
No, so the most famous Hell in a Cell match ever was built off of Mankind simping for Kane?
And Paul Bearer, yes.
What?
So
That
anyway,
was so weird.
yeah, so at the Hell in a Cell match, it is known for it's basically a 3-spot match. There is basically no match outside of this, but basically they start the match with Mankind climbing to the top of the cell. Undertaker follows him up there, and after a cute little bit of brawling on top of the cell, Undertaker just chucks Mankind off the cell and through the announce table.
Yes.
Famously, good God Almighty, they've killed him. From Jim Ross.
I think
As God is my witness, he is broken in half.
I'm pretty sure I saw a meme about that earlier, like a roses are red, violets are blue meme, making it rhyme with like the implied Jim Ross line.
Mm-hmm. So after he falls through the announce table, they go through the whole rigmarole of like trying to like get medical to stretcher him off. And then he fights off the stretchering, goes back up to the top of the cell, this time with a steel chair. And then they keep Undertaker and Mankind fight some more. And this time Undertaker choke slams Mankind through the cell back into the ring.
Wasn't that unplanned?
Part of it, the way it happened was unplanned. Specifically the part where the chair also fell down the hole and hit Mankind in the face.
Oh no.
And specifically it knocked one of his teeth out.
Yes.
And sent it up his nasal cavity, which is one of the more infamous shots from this match.
Yes, we actually have a poster in my house that it's about the Hell in a Cell match, but it's made to look like a comic book cover. And they drew the visual of like the tooth and the nose. It's great.
Yeah. And so of course the match does not end there either.
No.
As the Undertaker jumps down into the ring.
Yes.
From the roof.
It's also metal as fuck.
And then the medical people and like agents and all that are like, please God, stop this match. To which Undertaker is like, he just beats up the agents as well.
Absolutely.
And then, I forget who, but thumbtacks are then put out. And then Undertaker chokeslams Mankind in the thumbtacks.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
And then hits him with a tombstone for the win.
Damn, that is pretty extreme. It is funny you talk about it that way because like I know about the parts where they go up to the top. I kind of always assumed there was like a whole match lead up to that, and that was
it starts on the roof.
Well, that's insane.
Yeah, but Undertaker wins. Mankind is immortalized forever as the most hardcore son of a bitch ever seen in the WWF.
Yes. And all of a sudden it's like, this Mick Foley guy's pretty cool. Why did we never know this?
Yep. So then, other matches on the card. It is the King of the Ring after all. So we get the King of the Ring semifinal and final
king.
To crown the king. So the first, they have 8 qualifying matches on Raw, and they call them qualifying matches, even though they put it in a bracket format. So it functions as a first round, but they're like,
I mean, like matches. Technically they're qualifying to move on. Whatever.
It's dumb. So I will not talk about I will be respectful of their terminology and not talk about the qualifying matches. Also to save some time. So the quarterfinals that happened on TV, The Rock versus Triple H. The Rock won.
Shocker.
Owen Hart versus Dan Severn. Severn fucking won.
Wait, that is a shocker. Who the fuck is Dan Severn?
All right, I'll save that for when we get to the semifinals and I actually talk about who some of these people are here. Ken Shamrock beat Mark Henry.
Boo.
And Jeff Jarrett beat Mark Marrow.
Oh, okay, that is based.
So the semifinal matches were, first you had Ken Shamrock versus Jeff Jarrett. So Ken Shamrock, along with Dan Severn, are basically two of the original top stars of the UFC. Like, UFC was on the up and up in 98. Like, this was early days UFC where it was almost a lawless wasteland of just doing whatever. And it was a whole big controversial thing. But they had the like UFC Ultimate Championship thing, like before they had even weight classes. The original UFC did not have weight classes.
That's awesome.
The first champion of the UFC was Ken Shamrock defeating Dan Severn, and then Dan Severn beat Ken Shamrock for that belt as well.
Oh, shit.
So there is a lot of personal history between these two, and the WWF are definitely trying to like play into the idea that holy shit, these guys could meet in the finals of the King of the Ring. Otherwise, their character is Ken Shamrock is roided out anger monster.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
He is just a dude who will beat up anybody. He has severe anger management problems. He will attack anyone. And Dan Severn is honestly just a dude. Like he's a decent wrestler, and he's obviously a legit badass, but he never had a significant amount of charisma or personality. And so he dies on the vine in the WWF. He never gets anywhere.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But he's a legit fighter.
Oh, God. Yeah, yeah. Oh boy, we're starting to see that obsession with real shooty shoot fight and cry. I didn't realize Ken Shamrock was a fucking UFC champ originally.
Oh yeah.
God.
So Jeff Jarrett is back in the WWF from his stint from WCW. This is his second time in the WWF, and he brought with him Colonel Robert Parker, aka Tennessee Lee. So Jeff Jarrett,
he's Tennessee Lee in the Fed.
Yeah, that's his name in the WWF. Is Tennessee Lee?
Yeah, because Robert Parker also
he managed Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat, yep.
He's the plantation owner looking motherfucker.
Oh God.
But now he's managing Jeff Jarrett,
the spelling bee champion.
Yep, the greatest star in the world.
He spells his name really well. Yes.
And then, despite Tennessee Lee's best efforts to cheat, Ken Shamrock beat Jeff Jarrett. So there's that. Then The Rock versus Dan Severn.
No
Dan
way.
Severn has because the Nation of Domination, or I guess they're just kind of the Nation now. Like,
yes,
they haven't officially changed the name, but they stopped calling them they start using the Nation a lot, which is probably because by this point they've added Owen Hart to the Nation. He is the Black Heart of the Hart family.
Please tell me they say that. Please tell me they.
No way. They call him the Black Heart. That's
they literally acknowledge it. That's so good.
Yep. But he's in the Nation now, the token white guy in the Black Power group. And
yeah, baby.
But, now it's the Rock's Nation, so it's now more like just a bunch of fuckboys. Like, Ron Simmons was carrying hard the, Black Power. Look at the discrimination we have felt in the WWF as black men. The Rock's in charge now.
For some reason.
The Rock is in charge now, so now they're just all a bunch of cocky douchebags.
Man, I can't wait to rush the Nation frat, bro.
But that's relevant as basically Dan Severn has been fighting because the Nation has been beefing with DX and with Ken Shamrock. So like Dan Severn, who also is beefing with Ken Shamrock, has been in the orbit of the Nation. And plus, God. Dan Severn beat D'Lo Brown to qualify. Dan Severn has beaten two members of the Nation. He beat D'Lo Brown to qualify, and then he beat Owen Hart in the first round. So the match ends with the Nation interfering, and D'Lo Brown attacks Dan Severn and helps The Rock win.
Man, I was worried for a second. I was so worried, dude, that they were about to have Dan Severn beat The Rock because Dan Severn could shooty shoot fight. Oh my God.
Well, they had their whole big riffity. They spent weeks hyping up that, hey, Ken Shamrock versus Dan Severn. That'd be really cool, right? And then
they just didn't do it.
They didn't do it. And in fact, they're never going to do it.
That's hilarious. Oh my god. I mean, that's shit booking, but also that's awesome.
It's hilarious, absolutely.
So good.
So then the finals are, of course, The Rock versus Ken Shamrock. And shockingly, Ken Shamrock wins. He just gets in the ankle lock and beats The Rock.
Among the people who have beaten The Rock while he was The Rock are Ken Shamrock?
I mean, honestly, that's been kind of the story for them because at WrestleMania in this same year, The Rock, who is the Intercontinental Champion right now, he faced Ken Shamrock then. Shamrock won the match, but then he kept attacking after the bell. So the ref was like, I'm going to reverse the decision.
We got to keep the belt on The Rock, but we also got to build up that Ken Shamrock's a fighty boy.
Yeah, so now this is a match where The Rock doesn't need King of the Ring, and Ken Shamrock is not going to win the title if he beats The Rock in this match. Therefore, Ken Shamrock going to get the dub this time.
Oh, boy.
So Ken Shamrock is your King of the Ring. You can probably guess on the list of historical Kings of the Ring how significant Ken Shamrock was as King of the Ring.
Probably like not.
No.
Probably like 0.
No.
I know there are some other kind of unimportant kings out there, but can't imagine
Shamrock
Ken
is one of
that
them.
high on the list.
All right, then the next match before that was a tag team championship match. The New Age Outlaws, the badass Billy Gunn, and the Road Dogg, Jesse James.
Daddy ass.
Daddy ass is here. We're not scissoring yet. Right now, it's telling everyone if they got a problem with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it!
Suck it! I know that one. I understood that reference.
Yeah. And they are facing, checks notes, the Midnight Express, Bodacious Bart and Bombastic Bob.
I feel like you've
they were part of the NWA thing last time we were around here. We definitely saw a match with these idiots.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And they haven't been on TV at all. DX has just been doing King of the Ring shenanigans this whole build-up. And then Kane and Mankind won a battle royal to be #1 contenders for the tag titles. They haven't gotten a tag match for the titles.
What the fuck?
And because they are in singles matches on this pay-per-view, they're just like, fuck it. You just go out there and fight the bombastic Bart.
Oh, I'm sure it was a real nail biter, that match.
Nah, it sucked. The match ended when Jim Cornette tried to interfere because of course he did, and Chyna punched him in the balls because of course she did, and then they pinned the Midnight Express for the win.
You love to see it.
The only interesting element of this match is the fact that Bart Gunn and Billy Gunn were facing off against each other in the ring.
Oh, that would imply they're probably siblings.
Is Bart Gunn the actual brother of Billy Gunn? Probably, but I actually am unsure of this. No, they're kayfabe brothers. Billy Gunn and Bart Gunn are kayfabe brothers. They were in a tag team, the Smoking Guns, where they were cowboys. It's the new generation. They shot off pistols.
Oh my god, I forgot about the cowboy angle.
Yep. But now
fucking god.
It's the badass Billy Gunn who's I'm an ass man, and Bart is now bombastic.
Man, I remember fucking talking about the Smoking Guns and being deeply unimpressed and just being a dick, and now Billy Gunn is one of my absolute faves. Oh, how times change. What a little bit of scissoring can do.
I desperately want it will not happen, but I really wish AEW would bring in Bart Gunn to align with the Ass Boys.
Yo, I would love. Wait, no. 4-way tag team. 4-person tag team, like Tornadoes, 4-way, fucking whatever. They add Hangman to the mix so that Billy Gunn can bring the cowboy gimmick back.
They can do a knockoff Smoking Guns, but not call it that.
They can do a knockoff Smoking Guns and have both guns and scissors. Brilliant.
Nailed it.
I just booked the best angle AEW will never have.
Of course. Then we had a X-Pac versus Owen Hart match. Basically, this was built from the fact that in the King of the Ring qualifying matches, it was Triple H versus X-Pac, and there was a whole bit of like, oh man, DX gonna fight each
DX.
other, and it ended by the Rock causing a distraction so Owen Hart could run in and injure X-Pac and cause him to lose by countout.
Why?
Because fuck DX. And The Rock wants to fight Triple H, not X-Pac.
Oh, I see. This is just to give Rock a higher profile opponent. Okay.
Correct. So X-Pac is rightfully like pissed about this.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck?
That was out of pocket. So I'm gonna fight you now.
Out of pocket.
So the match ended. The match had all sorts of stupid shenanigans because first Mark Henry tries to interfere, except he is stopped by Vader because Vader and Mark Henry are beefing. So Vader beats him up, and then X-Pac, Owen Hart puts in the sharpshooter on X-Pac, and Chyna runs in and hits Owen Hart with a DDT, and X-Pac wins.
Oh my god. The endings, they be so messy.
They are. I mean, it was a good match while we were having it, but also holy fucking shit, man.
Oh my god. Let one match end clean, Russo. I am begging you.
All right, the next match. God, I hate that I have to talk about this match, to be honest, because I was like, this feud is stupid. It is Too Much versus Al Snow and Head in a tag team match. So Al Snow at this point is coming out of ECW. He had been in WWF before, where he had such fantastic gimmicks as Avatar, where I can't even believe this, is so the Avatar gimmick was he came to the ring in a mask, and then he took the mask off when he wrestled, and then after the match he put it back on.
What kind of mask was it?
It was just a multicolored, like, lucha-esque mask, but he just, like, puts the mask on and then takes it off to wrestle.
And did they ever talk anything about why this was a thing?
Listen, this is the dredges of the new generation. I have never watched an Avatar match.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, God. That
he is the third worst Avatar in pop culture existence.
Fucking
frankly.
True. Absolutely. He at least could have the dignity to come out in a fucking all blue mask.
Yeah. If he had come out like saying he was a master of the 4 elements, I would have probably been into it.
Yeah, a little bit. Great TV.
So he goes to ECW. He gets the gimmick where he's like, "What does everybody want? Head." And it's with an innuendo and him literally talking to a mannequin doll head.
Yes.
Now he comes to the WWF with this gimmick, and the gimmick is he really, really wants a job, but he can't get a meeting with Vince McMahon, so he keeps sneaking into the shows in various disguises.
What?
And having to be thrown out.
Okay, that's
as
actually
a disruptive force.
That's funny, actually.
And so he has an in-ring interview with Jerry Lawler because he's like, "I need you to get me a meeting with Vince," and Jerry's like, "I don't want to do that."
Fuck you.
So, but Jerry Lawler does give him a fighting chance, technically speaking. So, as he sets up a tag team match between Too Much, that is Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor. That is the future Too Cool, who they'll rename themselves to Scotty Too Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah, but right now they are Too Much, which is Brian Christopher tweaks out, and they are a vaguely ambiguously gay duo. That is Too Much.
And the network senses are like, that is too much.
What? Hey, wow, that's too much.
But seriously, seriously, make them white rappers instead, please.
Yeah, so he has to have this tag match, but his tag partner is Head, who is the mannequin. And also, the special referee is Jerry Lawler. And Jerry Lawler's whole shtick here with Brian Christopher is that Brian Christopher is legitimately Jerry Lawler's son, like IRL, but Jerry
Oh,
Lawler doesn't acknowledge that, but he still favors Brian Christopher all the time.
okay, so it's the same shit as like the Gorilla Monsoon getting indignant about his ref
Yes.
son getting insulted, even though we don't know that's his ref son.
Yeah, but we're also all in on the joke that like
Yes,
yes,
this
Brian
time.
Christopher is his son. But he
So are they
refuses
like
to.
explicitly lampshading the fact that they will not acknowledge the
Yes,
family connection?
that
Okay.
Jerry refuses to like acknowledge it that his son that
I
he is
have no
biased towards
son.
his son. Uh, and in fact, the one funny moment of this whole bit is while they're discussing this, is Al Snow's like is like arguing with Head about whether or not Brian Christopher is Jerry Lawler's son. Al Snow says he is, and Head allegedly says he's not. And he's like, "Hey, settle a debate for us, Jerry. Is Brian Christopher your son?" And Jerry Lawler goes, "No, no, Brian Christopher's not my son. Head's got the right idea for once." And then Jerry's like, "Oh, now you got me talking to the Head."
Good. You know, speaking of wrestling family connections that I like, father son connections that I was not previously privy to. IRS's son is, oh fuck, Bo
Yeah,
Dallas? No.
I think it's Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. Pretty sure.
Wait, Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are both.
Let me check the whole family history here, but I am pretty sure. Yes, Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray
What?
Wyatt, and
It's
Taylor
the son of
Rotunda,
Mike
Bo Dallas.
Rotunda. Oh my god!
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are brothers. Yes.
And the son of IRS?
What an absolutely wild family tree of gimmicks there.
That's fucking insane.
I guess I would also go crazy and form a swamp cult if my dad was like the biggest proponent of the IRS.
True. Fuck you, Dad. You don't understand me. I'm going to live off the grid.
I'm gonna go live off the grid. That checks out. Anyway, back to this. So the tag match goes how you think it goes. It is a 2-on-1 handicap match, and Jerry Lawler cheats for too much. But the match ends. Al Snow tags in Head to use Head as a weapon. But this was his downfall, as they get Al Snow down, but Head is the legal person. How do you pin a fucking mannequin head? What they do...
Got no shoulders.
What they got a plan is Jerry Lawler and Brian Christopher pull out a bottle of Head and Shoulders and put the mannequin head on the shampoo bottle, and then they pin the shampoo bottle. Because get it? Now he's got Head and Shoulders. Pin him down for 1, 2, 3.
You know, as shenanigans go, that is easily the stupidest. And yet, it is also easily the most artistically inspired.
It is phenomenal.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
So Too Much have won the match. Al Snow will not get his meeting with Vince McMahon to get himself a job.
Oof, ow, and owie.
And then in a match that exists solely to just have a match on pay-per-view, a 6-man tag team match between the Headbangers, Bosch and Thrasher, and light heavyweight champion Taka Michinoku.
Taka!
Versus Kai and Tai. I believe we actually covered their debut when they like attacked Triple H or whatever.
Yes.
Right after WrestleMania. They're a group now. That is Funaki, Men's Teo, and Dick Togo. And their gimmick is our Japanese.
Boy.
The thing, though, that I think the Headbangers and Taka win. But I think the thing that we most need to emphasize here is they have a manager, Mr. Yamaguchi. Remember that.
Okay.
Remember Yamaguchi-san.
Yamaguchi-san.
That will be important
Okay.
for a feud that we will be covering in this period of time that you will definitely hate, but
Uh-oh.
not going to give anything
Yamaguchi-san.
more than that. But Yamaguchi-san going to be very important.
Oh boy.
What other things do I think is worth mentioning that has happened recently? Goldust is hanging around, except
Hey.
now he is cleaned up and found Jesus.
Oh no.
He is Jesus freak
Oh.
Dustin Runnels, which of course means he's a heel because he doesn't do anything except like pray before his matches, but like heel.
What? Look. I am not above being lay-redded atheist. However, I think just being like he is Christian, boo this man is a little cringe. Vincey.
It is a little cringe. He doesn't proselytize. He doesn't
Poor
do
Dustin.
anything to
Poor
like.
Dustin just continues to be done absolutely dirty by this company.
Yeah,
It never ends.
This
It
is
never,
not a good gimmick.
How is every gimmick they pick for him worse than the last one, Austin?
You see, I was gonna refute you on that one, but his next gimmick after being Goldust again is having Tourette's. So you know what? It actually does keep getting worse.
God, stop it! Stop doing this to my boy. It gets better. It gets better. It gets better.
Yeah. Mark Marrow has a new hot squeeze. So at Over the Edge, he had a mat. He apparently has some sort of, basically because he's married to Sable, he thus has control of her entire career, I guess. And so he has finally devised his scheme to make sure that Sable will stop showing boob to the fans. He sets up a match on pay-per-view again where he will fight any champion of Sable's choosing, and if he wins, she is gone forever.
Oh my! Just get a divorce. It's so much easier.
Oh wait, we aren't even there yet. But in the match itself, Sable decides to be her own champion.
Based.
So Sable versus Mark Marrow.
Based.
And Mark Marrow trick pins her to win. He pretends that he's gonna like lay down and let her win, and then she's a dumbass and falls for it, and then he pins her, rolls her up and pins her.
Why would you fall for that?
To be fair, she is not a regular wrestler, so I'm willing to believe that she's an idiot who doesn't know about that. This kind of trick.
But she also should know that her husband is a bastard man would never in a million years.
She should have just let her win. Yeah, she probably just
yes.
coming.
I already suddenly understand why the fuck they didn't just get a divorce, because neither of them are smart enough to realize that that's an option.
So she is off WWF forever, and they play video packages like she fucking died. Like they have the same kind of tone and like reverent air that you would put on like a rest in peace video.
Oh my god, why?
Yet another instance of these like career retirement video packages in this show being like might as well be dead.
This is not Lucha Underground. Stop thinking you're Lucha Underground.
And cool in the meantime, Mark Amaro is celebrating how Sable is barefoot in the kitchen where she belongs. But don't worry, he's got a new manager he got a nice girl who knows her place, and it is Jacqueline.
Maybe
Miss Jackie with James Storm in TNA. We've seen her a couple times as Miss Jackie.
Vaguely remember.
But so now Mark Marrow has a new girlfriend that he is flaunting on television and to help him cheat to win matches while Sable is at home. Except 2 weeks later, Vince McMahon brings Sable back to TV. They don't even explain it beyond, listen, he just wanted her back on TV. So he just signed her again.
What?
So now Sable is
Okay.
back.
Vince is like, this Mark Marrows guy is never gonna get over. You know what does get over? Sable's tits.
Yeah, so great job there, Mark.
Good job. Just like everything else in your career, it was utterly pointless.
Yep. So then, yeah, I think that's everything. I think worth bringing up for the time being.
Hell yeah.
My bad. Edge debuted. I almost forgot about that.
Oh, see, it's funny because you said over the edge a couple times, and I was like, over the
No,
edge.
you'd think they would plan that out, but they don't. He debuts
No,
the week before King of the Ring.
I did not think they would plan that out, Austin. I am not so bold as to assume that they would actually be at all like they'd actually plan that.
After doing weeks of vignettes where he is like spooky goth in a train tunnel or something, doing vague, random, vague like too deep for me horse shit.
Oh boy,
that says nothing. He is debuted. The most significant part about this promo, about these dumb vignette promos, is the "you think you know me" thing comes from that. And one of the promos like, "You think you know me, but you don't." And so like the "you think you know me" thing that is just a part of Edge's like general presentation forever now, that comes from that, from his debut vignettes.
Damn, talk about consistency.
Yep.
That's sick.
Listen, he is not a vampire with his kayfabe brother Christian yet, so he's not an interesting version of
he and Christian are kayfabe
Edge.
brothers?
They were, and then they retconned that.
Of course they did.
But he hasn't hooked up with Gangrel and Christian to be like spooky vampire boys, so he's just kind of a dude right now.
Fair enough. Where did he come from, by the way? Was he homegrown or was he like indies?
I mean, he had a small amount of time on like Canadian indies, but not anything like major. Though it's hard because like 90s indies kind of sucked. So
that's fair. But he was mostly homegrown then.
Yeah. He has he has never had a major career. There's no way that WCW ever hired him. I just asked myself, did WCW ever hire him? But there's absolutely no way that ever happened, because his indie name was Sexton Hardcastle. So no fucking way that he ever had a major job. I'll tell you that.
And Vince Russo and Vince McMahon looked at that and said, "Penis jokes, I'm in."
Impressively how they like never used that like on screen. They never like made that. Like he never wrestled on TV. He might. You know what? He might have been a jobber. He might have done jobs as Sexton Hardcastle. Could have been, but as an important character, he never wrestled as Sexton Hardcastle.
Edge. Okay.
Yeah, but basically WWF is the only major wrestling spot he's ever worked in.
Good to know.
And so that is it. If you would like to watch along with us tonight, you can do so on Peacock, NBC Universal streaming service. It's where WWE licenses all their content for the time being. And we will be watching the June 29th, 1998 episode of Monday Night Raw.
It's war.
And we are back. We have finished the June 29th, 1998 episode of Monday Night Raw, the first show of the Brawl for All.
Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot. And not just because of the Brawl for All. Man, I forgot how much a lot the 90s was.
Nah, Vince Russo is on his Vince Russo-iest right now. We
Yeah,
are cramming in so much.
I have questions about, or I not even questions. I have observations about that, like in a little bit, because I was looking at this through like a lens of created by Vince Russo TM, and things got weird.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Uh, yeah,
We open with a recap of King of the Ring 98. The only reason I bring this up is because I was like, oh yeah, that black and white filter on the over the blood shot.
yeah. Well, and they're not showing any video clips. They're only showing stills.
For
Because
now they're not, but then
well, okay, but for
later.
now, for the actual show, like no way in hell Vince is letting you get any of that for free. You gotta pony up each time, bitch.
Nah, fuck you, pal. And then and then we get to the warehouse.
Oh, war opening.
I looked up the lyrics and then I forgot them.
There are
The opening-
lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm so distracted by
like,
everything
too
else.
much dark and not enough sky. I'm the thorn in your eye.
Damn, that just blew right over. Man, I almost missed what goofy, super extra bullshit the war opening was. Almost.
Yeah.
Still really fucking stupid.
We come out first is Vince McMahon with Gerald Briscoe and Commissioner Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, wait, Slaughter's part of the Vince crew? What?
He is still the kayfabe commissioner, even though Vince is on screen being an authority figure as well.
Wait, since when was he the kayfabe commissioner?
Since like 97. He's been
Why?
for a while.
Why?
Just to have him on TV.
But you could. That's your okay.
Someone needs to be a kayfabe authority figure.
Damn. Maybe he should have. He should have brought Saddam Hussein onto a leadership role.
Oof. I think something I've never really brought up before is how like Vince has no music, and in fact he will not get the song that he's most famous for, "No Chance in Hell," until Royal Rumble '99.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Until then, he will come out. He will just come out. No music, just booze.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't need music. He's got a chorus of booze backing him up all the way to the ring.
Yeah,
also, holy shit. Holy fuck, there are so many signs, Austin.
There are.
So much. JR makes some, or no, I think it was Lawler made some comment about like 20,000 fans with attitude. Yeah, an attitude for making fucking signs.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
really, really cool television visual. But also, from a live experience perspective, I would be so annoyed being at any of these shows.
Every single person has a sign, Austin.
Everybody brought some fucking sign.
Every single person, and nobody can see a goddamn thing.
No.
We're all just going to look at each other's fucking sign.
Back of cardboard.
Yeah, so there's one that stuck out to me that said, Hoy is gay. Who is Hoy?
Oh, that's probably some friend of theirs that is like,
okay.
I'm gonna make a sign about him on live TV.
I also like later in the show noticed a sign that says Pat is gay, which
I did catch that one.
At least that one's accurate. Also, like, shout out to all the kids in the audience with like the fucking foam wig heads. Holy fuck. Al Snow personally single-handedly made some like foam executives a lot of money in the late 90s.
Well, we also had the Steve Austin foam fingers that have the middle finger up.
This is true, but like it's the heads in potato. That's because of Al Snow, right? Like everybody's got heads.
Head. Because what does everybody want?
Yeah.
Head.
The WWF is coming to town, and all of a sudden, like the local wig store has legions of wrestling fans descending upon it, and for one glorious night, they make thousands of dollars off just foam wig heads.
Mm-hmm. The sign I picked out of the crowd here was Vince McMahon is a pimp.
I didn't even see that one. Oh, there's another one I saw. Some dude put his name and phone number on a sign. He's like, I'm single. I'm sure that worked
Yep.
out real well for him. A
Yeah.
lot of eligible
Classic
bachelorettes
move.
watching the Attitude
Classic
Era.
move. Like, I'm gonna be on national TV and I'm gonna put my phone number on a sign.
I hope he at least got an awkward one night stand out of that.
All the babes that watch WWF Raw is War.
Look, man,
in Cleveland,
miss 100%.
Ohio. All the babes in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh yeah.
That watch Raw saw that
yeah.
sign and made that call.
Look, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. All right, I respect it.
Yeah. So in the ring, they have a red carpet all over the ring mat, and the WWF title belt is in a glass case because it is a presentation ceremony.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck did Kane just not pick up the title during?
No, it's because Vince wants to jerk off about how Steve Austin isn't champion, so that's why we're making a whole big deal about this.
It's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. And commentary keeps being like, Steve Austin is in the building and he's hanging on every word, which makes you wonder if Vince has put any kind of precautions in place for what will well,
the answer to that is always no.
But it's so funny because, like, you could have the suspense of, like, whether or not Austin's going to show up, but literally the entire time commentary is like, Austin's here. Austin is, in fact, here. Steve Austin is in the building, and Steve Austin is very much available to listen to this entire promo, and he's very much paying attention to the entire thing.
Yeah, so Vince McMahon is all jovial tonight. He is proud to stand here, and what a happy day this is we have a new WWF champion. Today marks the dawning of a new era in the WWF, a new era of popularity, prosperity, a new era of civility, as if a giant breath of fresh air has cleansed the WWF, cleansed the WWF of the foul mouth, cleansed the WWF of the unseemly hand gestures, and cleansed the World Wrestling Federation of the beer swilling.
As if he doesn't run a fighting
Actual company. Attempted murderer Kane is who we're talking about here.
Yeah, yes, Kane. He goes on to extol the virtues of unproblematic, straight edge.
I kept going, but I decided to give you a moment. But I have more from this rant.
That's the thing. So like uncivil, as if Vince McMahon doesn't run a writing company. The end of unseemly hand gestures, as if after tonight he's gonna stop selling the foam middle fingers that make him gazillions.
And also unseemly hand gestures. DX is also on this show.
Nah. Kane is gonna straighten them out. All right, between him and Dustin Rhodes. They're gonna
I cannot wait to talk about Dustin Rhodes.
They're gonna bring some wholesome family values back to the Fed.
All right. So Vince, he's our champion whose lips have never tasted an alcoholic beverage. A champion who has never uttered an obscenity. And a champion whose only hand gesture is to salute the United States of America.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. When he said that, I did like a double take. I was like, wait, are we still talking about Kane? Since when has Kane ever been... Okay, well, obviously, libertarian extraordinaire Glenn Jacobs is America boy, but we don't know that in 98.
But yeah, we have a new role model, a champion for the new millennium. I give you Kane.
Oh, say, can you see?
Wholesome role model to the children, Kane.
Glenn Jacobs be like, if you kneel during the national anthem, I will set your fucking ass on fire.
If you kneel during the national anthem, I will set you on fire.
Oh, we'll get to that. So Kane walks into the ring with Paul Bearer.
And honestly, it just keeps getting better, actually, when Paul Bearer starts talking.
Oh, yeah. So shout out to before like they start talking, someone actually managed to land their fucking foam head in the ring, and Kane just like vaguely kicks it out of the way because it like lands right by his feet.
Nice. But yeah, so Vince asked Paul Bearer to give his words about how this all feels for him tonight.
Uh-huh.
And he's the World Wrestling Federation, indeed a place where dreams come true. And Paul is like, words cannot express how much this means to me and my son. And until you've walked a mile in my son's shoes, you'll never know. I was there, Mr. McMahon. I was there for 20 long years. I watched my son. I watched him dream. I watched him sit in a room with pictures of his brother all around the room. I watched him on Saturday morning watch Saturday Morning Superstars.
Yeah, he fucking hits the brand synergy.
And he said, Dad, I want to be like him. And I said, son, you can be better than him.
Yeah.
For years.
Young Kane was apparently a giant mark and also Syndrome from The Incredibles.
This is hysterical.
This is so fucked. I still want to know how the fuck they like justify this timeline where, like, you know, in those days Paul Bearer was very much the valet to Taker, and also was Taker's caregiver and like spent so much waking time. When the fuck did he have time to raise a secret American Kane?
I want to also point out that Undertaker debuted in 1990. It is 1998. I don't know how young I'm supposed to think Kane is, but he would be at most a youngest a teenager when he is idolizing. When he is this but small child idolizing his older brother.
What? Yeah, well, okay. Well, considering some of the like timeline fuckery from Katie Vick, I think Kane just might suffer from a time dilation field or something.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let me finish off some more of this insane Paul Bearer promo.
Please.
For years, he was ridiculed. He was harassed. He was ridiculed. He was put down. But tonight, oh yes, tonight, Undertaker, for the first time, you are standing in the shadow of your little brother.
Yeah, he's very much here for the family vindictiveness, and it's a time.
Yeah. Vince takes the belt out of the case to present the belt to Kane. And as at this point, I noticed somebody got the laser pointer out.
Yeah,
got Vince dead in the face.
Except like it must be some big ass laser pointer because it's not just a little dot. It's like a whole ass fucking circle on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Vince goes to
I love how constant it is. How certain you can always be that if Vince McMahon is in the ring in like the 90s or like early 2000s, there's gonna be a fucking laser pointer on his face.
Mm-hmm. Vince goes to put the title around Kane's waist, and here comes Stone Cold.
Yeah,
he's got Vince, huge taped up his arm from the last.
No one saw this coming. No one at all. Literally, how?
This whole promo is just voices that hurt my voice a little bit to try to do, but let's go. Austin is like, well, I don't have much to talk about. It's for short and sweet. It's the stipulations of the match. He's bust me open. And you know that big son of a bitch over there never busted me open. And Vince apparently goes to like interrupt Austin. He's like, shut up. Shut up. You shut up, stand right there, and I'll knock your damn head off for wearing those stupid shoes.
God, how the mighty has fucking fallen. Because like Vince just does nothing to stand up.
Vince just takes it when Stone Cold is just like, shut up.
I know. I was like, all right, so Vince fires his ass. No, he fires his ass. No, he's just said. Why is Vince being such a bitch?
Well, he actually did a cover this. Is when he did the promo I talked about in the front half when he fired Mick for being a loser. He brought this up and he's like, I can't fire Austin because Austin makes me a ton of money. You, on the other hand, are more expendable. So in all of context, the reason he never fires Stone Cold Steve Austin is because Stone Cold Steve Austin is a merch machine and a ratings grab. So he wants to kowtow Stone Cold to his way of thinking. He doesn't want to get rid of Stone Cold. That would cost him money.
What? Oh my god, the Vince McMahon like Stone Cold dynamic is so bizarre because Stone Cold's just like, all right, Vince, now you're gonna like bend over and let me peg you, and Vince is like, okie dokie then.
I'll get you back.
But also, I hate you.
I'll get you back for it later, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But Austin wants a rematch tonight because in his argument is Undertaker is the one who busted him open last night. So really, Kane shouldn't be champion because Kane didn't do the job.
And Jerry Lawler makes the unfortunately correct point that there's a very obvious solution here for Vince to just say no. But Vince doesn't say no. Vince looks around all nervous and he's like, I mean,
nobody wants to eat the stunner.
I guess I can allow it. Is that what that is?
I mean, that's what Paul Bearer is afraid of anyway. I can only assume that's why I assume Vince is trying to still pretend he's a respectable owner in this moment. But Paul Bearer, I think, is just afraid of getting his ass kicked if he's the one that says no.
Okay, because I was like, any of them could just say no to this. Instead, they're all acting like sniveling bureaucrats.
Briscoe and Slaughter are also probably cowards. Like their characters are probably they're just cowardly little fucks.
Well, yeah, the Vince Simps have no personality.
Yeah, but Vince goes, well, everyone would love to see that match, and Stone Cold interjects, well, if everyone wants to see it, we'll make the rematch, jackass.
Yeah.
Take that stupid look off your face and be somebody. You're supposed to be the owner of WWF. Act like it for once.
He's going off. Holy shit.
And Vince is like, well, I suggest that maybe you don't deserve a rematch tonight. Then Austin's response goes,
that's the best you got.
And it's like, well, if you want if everyone here wants Stone Cold to have a rematch, give me a hell yeah.
Which I feel like is not the same as him deserving it, but again, I guess it's a trump card to be like, hey Vince, I'm really over. Fuck you.
The power of the people.
Yes.
So Vince is like, well, all right. It's all right with me if it's all right with Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer's like,
what have you gotten me into this?
No. And then Stone Cold Bob's like, well, what about it, fat ass? You take the damn mic and say I got the rematch.
And Paul Bearer takes a second.
Get out the cupcake and start talking.
Yes, Paul Bearer is fat. Ha 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 ha.
And Paul Bearer starts literally hiding behind Kane.
Dude, I forgot like that. I kind of forgot. Well, I guess we didn't see much of him last time we were at Attitude Era. I guess I just didn't fully conceptualize that like Attitude Era Paul Bearer could be even goofier than Golden Age Paul Bearer. He's just
goofier in a different way.
Yeah, and I'm kind of here for it, honestly. I'll talk about it at the end, but I'm actually kind of here for it.
So Paul Bearer's like, well, it's all right with me if it's all right with Kane. And Stone Cold's losing his mind at this point. I dare somebody in the ring to have some guts.
But I feel like with Kane wouldn't be afraid to. Oh, well, I guess then Kane looks kind of reticent at first, so then Stone Cold.
I would read that as Kane is just like not an idiot, and he's like, I'm not just gonna give you this match the night after I won it. But
he looked reticent, but then Stone Cold like goads him into it by being like, "Hey, you suck," and
he turns back around the 20-year story thing that Paul mentioned earlier, and he's like, "The last night Undertaker won this belt and handed it to your sorry ass," and that pissed Kane's like, "Whoa, what the fuck did you just say?" You gotta ask yourself. Could I have beaten Stone Cold Steve Austin fair and square? If you don't give me that rematch, you'll never know. And at this point, Kane is he nods his head and he agrees to the rematch. Vince is pissed, and Paul is terrified as to what has just happened.
Paul's like, there was a very scary, tall, bald man in
Yeah.
this room with me.
Yeah, so absolutely insane promos from Vince and Paul Bearer, and then Austin comes out and reverse psychologically gets what he wants.
This is so bizarre. Vince being like, Kane is the epitome of wholesomeness. Paul Bearer being like, my son who somehow exists outside of time, and Stone Cold like, well, I guess has bullied Vince McMahon and Paul Bearer enough that like they're both petrified to say no to him, which is very funny as a dynamic.
Yeah,
It was wild.
Hilarious, honestly, hilarious promo.
Not bad.
And then I wrote The Prophecy. Oh, this is a King of the Ring advert.
Yeah, now we're showing the video clips so we can sell the encore, baby.
Yeah, and then I wrote thanks Freddie Blassie at the end because he did the voiceover for this crap.
Oh yeah. Never got
All right. Before the next match starts, the first match, starts, I noted the sign, Rock, quit cooking that rock sign.
If you
Rock is a euphemism for cocaine.
Oh.
Rock, quit cooking that rock.
Well, that would explain why he's asking if you smell what the Rock is cooking. That
he's like, yeah, he's got some coke. He's got some coke.
He's like, send that coke straight up your nose.
Well, he did go to the University of Miami, so you know.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of coke. There's plenty of the white stuff going around in Miami, Florida. I'll tell you that.
Doof.
Then the first wrestler comes out, and I immediately groaned. It is Darren Drozdov. So, okay.
Nicknamed Puke.
I'll tell you why that is because he allegedly can puke on command. And by that, I mean he can kind of like get a little spittle going. And then they just all kind of pretend like he just projectile vomited.
What?
Like the commentary and like the backstage interviewers when this shit happens, they all like, oh my God, that's disgusting. It's all over him. And it's more like he basically like essentially hocked a couple loogies or something.
Wait, okay, hold up. So is the puking on command out of kayfabe or in kayfabe?
It is the kayfabe gimmick because he pitched to Vince that he could puke on command. There's like a Wrestling with Shadows, a very famous documentary that came out in '97, kind of most famous because it was a documentary about Bret Hart's last days in the WWF. So there is a ton of backstage footage related to the Montreal Screwjob in Wrestling with Shadows. But also in that documentary was this shit about Draws, where he is in Vince's office showing him this like puke on command gimmick. And you got Vince yelling on doing his like fictionalized commentary to get into his head like how this would look on screen. And that's where, if you've ever seen the clip of Vince going, he's gotta puke, he's gotta puke, he's gotta puke. That's where that's from.
Jesus, that sounds like it could be a TikTok sound. What? Okay, so was it supposed to be a special power?
Yes. As if this is some weird fucking thing he can just do. Like his weird party trick is vomit on command, except he definitely can't.
So, but hold up, so was it then like a gross out tool for him? Like, what would he use it for?
He doesn't use it in matches or anything. He just does it.
So the character just throws up a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not even meant to be like a superpower puke. It's just that he has a very weak stomach.
But he can allegedly do it on command. That's the thing.
Even in kayfabe, they say
that is the story. That is the story, that he is puking on command. He can just puke whenever he wants, and it's like, no, you can't. You've never properly vomited on camera.
Is it used for anything aside from just
comedy? To be a character. Just to be a character.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh no, this is gonna
I
be
was like,
comedy.
this. Yeah, he also just not great. But then out comes Sable,
Outcome
and
table and like I will admit I got a might bit confused because so Stable starts to come out and JR and Lawler mention like the Brawl for All. And I'm like, wait, is this gonna be a Brawl for All segment? Is Sable Brawl for Alling this dude? What the fuck? No, she's just here to
Sable
make.
Jerry Lawler asked the exact same question when he came out. He's like, "Is Sable gonna wrestle draws?" Like, no, it
Yes.
can't, you idiot. It's not gonna
Um
happen.
Lawler tries to get JR to perv on Sable as she makes her entrance, and JR and base JR over here is like, Mama's watching.
Yeah. Also, this is when I noticed the sign: "Sable, you left your toothbrush at my house."
I saw that one too, and it was extremely lame.
So Sable gets in the ring and she's got a piece of paper with her. She's got a
Yes.
statement to read off because now she is reading Vince McMahon's personal announcements at random parts of the show.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Vince has hired the hot new free agent who has had all success around the world. Definitely not in WCW specifically. Fuck you.
What the fuck is WCW? I've never heard of that.
But it is Steven Regal.
Daddy's here! Daddy Ring!
It is the Regs, and he's got his big fucking coat.
But also, like, this is such a low-key announcement. What?
He just debuts. It's whatever.
Yeah, you'd think he'd get some fanfare for like being this gigantic hot free agent. Nah,
Well,
he just kind of
here's the thing. He is a WCW mid carder who is more a wrestler than like a stupid gimmick. So like
oh
I want to go. You can just go ahead and guess how much the audience cares.
oh he's actually legit. So the audience doesn't give a shit.
No,
Ouch.
the audience. I was going to say in the match, the audience does not care. They don't care about it. William Regal getting his technical wrestling on, and do you think
Yeah,
anyone in that audience gave a shit?
they're like, what? Why is he not like spraying beer all over the arena?
Yeah. Okay. So after Sable makes her announcement, she is working her way to the commentary table. To which I noted this exchange. Well, you haven't taken any Viagra lately, have you? To which Jerry Lawler's response is, "Quick, give me one of yours." And then Sable goes down to the commentary table. Jim Ross stands up to greet her. And Jim Ross goes, "Stand up and be a gentleman." And Jerry Lawler goes, "I can't stand up right now."
Oh my god! Shut up.
He has
Lawler.
an erection. That is why he cannot stand up.
I did gather that.
So Sable is doing commentary, and she is the focus of this match because half the match is picture in picture of just her on camera.
But it's so good because like the match is the match is sick. Reeves is working his ass off here, and it's great. It's a great little bout. But no, we don't give a shit.
Who cares about Darren Drozdov versus Steven Regal? Sable is here.
Yeah. So Lawler spends the entire match just perving on Sable, and Sable spends the entire match sounding.
I should have took more lines from him, but I did write down two. If Sable was a new burger at McDonald's, she'd be McGorgeous.
I heard that one, and I thought, well, that's stupid.
And then Jerry Lawler is like mad that she's not sitting next to him because she is sitting on the other side of Jim Ross. Now you sit next to me, I'm like milk. I do a body good.
Oh my god. Okay.
And then because Jim Ross is not perving on, so he is trying to be a fucking professional and ask Sable, what is the nature of your relationship to Vince McMahon and what it means that he brought you back to the company? And she's like, can't. I am not able to speak of that at this current time.
Yes. So Sable is here for some reason, and she spends the entire time sounding extremely uncomfy.
Well, she's which could be her playing the character, or it could just be that she's not a good promo. So, it could be both. Really.
It could be both, and it could be that she is legitimately like uncomfy to be perved on by Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler also had a really flat line that landed really flat, where he's like, you know who would want to be in your seat right now, JR? Men.
Yeah, okay, but you need to emphasize he asks, who'd like to be sitting where you are, JR, and then he has like a really long pause.
Men.
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 Thank you.
Absolutely flopped that line.
Yeah,
Did.
and Sable, like, also, like, JR keeps trying to pry into like what Sable's got going on with McMahon, and Sable just sounds like she's desperately trying to exercise her Fifth Amendment rights to like a gun to her with a gun to her head. She's like I'm choosing not to incriminate myself in the court of law that is WWE.
It's Monday
Raw.
Night Raw.
It's Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
Sable doesn't want to go to wrestler's court.
True. Oh man, they do awful things to that woman in wrestler court.
So the
yeah.
match, I guess, I'll just go ahead and say how it ends. Not like anything else happened here. Is Draws goes to the top rope for reasons. Steven Regal follows him up, hits a top rope butterfly suplex, which is where it's where you hook the arms as if like a butterfly here. It's like the wings. It's very cute. Anyway, suplex off the top, and then he gets him in like a guillotine choke for the win. Woohoo.
Yeah.
He refuses to let go of the hold. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
He's a bastard, man.
Damn. After that,
all of you will see the light eventually. All you fucking idiots will someday understand what an asset Lord Stephen William.
There is
Regal.
I don't know the timeline on this, but there is one thing with Regal now that he is in the WWF that I desperately hope we touch on in this arc.
Ooh, I'm excited.
But I don't know the timeline of when that character beat started. So I can't promise anything.
Okay, fair. But yeah, so the match ends. It was a good match. Regal's working. Even Puke seems to be keeping up with him.
It was good for what it was, which was a 2-minute Attitude Era match.
But JR goes, Sable, you're welcome here anytime. And Sable just goes, thank you very much.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Goodbye. She seems very uncomfortable with Jerry Lawler trying just to get her to stay for the rest of the show.
Yes. Of course, we got to do our WWE Raw is brought to you by.
Yeah, which is where I joke that WWF's so hard up for ads, they have to be sponsored by their own music album.
I know.
They also were sponsored by 2 different call collect services.
Hey, they were also they had a bit of like horizontal integration going. They were selling their CD and a fucking boombox.
Yes, though, the JVC Kaboom Box.
The JVC Kaboom Box, which according to JR,
is like, what if a boombox looked like a tube? That's a Kaboom,
yeah.
That's a JVC Kaboom Box.
JR extols its virtues for having, I think, like double subwoofers or something like that. As if JR knows what the fuck a subwoofer even is.
I love commentary ad reads when I feel like the commentators don't actually know what they're talking about.
I know.
Probably my favorite example of this is when is on the SmackDown era when it was like Cole and Taz on commentary. Mm-hmm. They were hyping a Final Fantasy game, and Taz is like, "Oh yeah, I love Yuna, brother. I love Yuna, brother. She's my favorite character." I'm like, I don't think you know who that is.
I think he was given a line that said though it wrote that out word for word, including the brothers.
Yep. So we cut to Ken Shamrock is here for an in-ring interview, and I immediately wanted to die.
With baby Michael Cole.
So up to this point, it is what they've done is they did Cole and JR on commentary in the hour 1, and Lawler and Ross on commentary in hour 2. But apparently they have moved back to Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross calling the whole show now.
Yeah, they make some joke about like Lawler needing to be paid like extra to come back to Raw full time, and I have no idea what the fuck was going on there, but okay.
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock gives like this extremely boilerplate promo.
Yeah, if you want like a good idea of like what the vibe on this promo is, Michael Cole asks him, how does it feel to be the new king of the ring? Ken Shamrock's response is, well, there's an old cliche. It feels good to be king.
Yes, I was like, wow, so insightful.
Listen,
Such an
like
absurd.
it's sad. Ken Shamrock as like a wrestler and like a raw, angry MMA guy is actually really good in that character, and he's a good wrestler.
Yeah,
But
I noticed that later. He
he
is
can't. He
legitimately
is,
talented.
but he can't cut promos to save his life. When
Yeah.
he is asked to emote with words, he is so boring. And that is why he never became a top guy in the WWF, is because he could not do it.
Dude, it almost reads like proto Cena to me. Like it had this very like well I like I like being champion and I got some enemies and
That's
I'll,
just boilerplate babyface promos in the
yeah, but like
WWF, really.
all you allowed to step up to the plate, and even if I don't, like he calls out Rock, I think, right? He calls out
Yes,
Rock.
yeah, because he's
Yeah, he
like
calls out
Rocky
Rock. He's like,
Maivia. He calls
yeah,
him Rocky Maivia, and
calls out Rocky
Jerry Lawler's
Maivia.
like, "It's the Rock, idiot."
Yeah, he calls out Rocky Maivia. He's like, I may not, like you, but I will give you a shot at da da da. Okay,
I giving
yeah.
you credit for facing me 1-on-1 straight up, and then
Yeah,
Owen
that's what it
Hart.
was. It's like I will give you credit for being a man. Okay.
And then Owen Hart is like, "You stop this suck up crap right now. Enough is enough. It's time for a change." Um, and Owen reminds everybody that he won the King of the Ring, and he is a way better king than Ken Shamrock.
True.
And so Owen is like, "If you want to step into my court tonight, we'll see who the best king is, and it will be me, the Black Heart."
Based. Absolutely based.
And then Shamrock is like, "I remember that you broke my ankle, but I accept the challenge. And you only got one thing to look forward to tonight, and that's pain." And then break it down. It's China and Triple H. And Triple H's like, "Before you girls go get your panties in a bunch."
Dude, fucking Triple H keeps calling Shamrock and Owen girls
Well,
as
duh, that's how you
as
do it.
as an insult while he is standing next to men's belt holder China.
He is
I
standing
feel
next
like
to actual woman China is
actual
standing
woman
next to
China
him.
who is holding the IC title.
No, she doesn't have a title right now.
She
Oh
was
no,
holding
she
a
was.
belt.
Oh, she was. I think she was just carry. Oh, she was carrying the European title. I think. Who has that right now? Probably Triple H. She's just carrying his belt.
Oh, I assumed. Wait, hold up.
She does
Uh,
win the IC title, but that is not now.
okay. Yeah, because I knew she had won the IC title, so I assumed, and I looked it up. The women's title was currently like vacant and
No,
non-existent.
yes. At this point in time, there was not a women's championship.
Apparently, it comes back in the fall, and China wins it. Walkity walkity walk.
Anyway, so Triple H is like, "So you're out here to determine who is the King of Kings," and I was like, "Oh fuck, is this where that nickname comes from?" I was about to like, it was
Is
blowing my
that
mind
something
a little
Ken
bit here.
Shamrock is called, the King of Kings?
No, it's what Triple H is called. The King of
Oh,
Kings is one of Triple H's many, many nicknames
why is he the King of Kings?
because he is the bestest. So he is the King of Kings. All hail, bow down to the king. It's a whole Motorhead song he gets.
Oh,
But he is like, "I want in on a 3-way dance triple threat match tonight." And then Ken Shamrock comes across like a dumbass. And he's like, "So you're saying that you want to have a match, me and you and Owen Hart tonight?" And Triple H's like, "Yeah, good job, Shamrock. I see you're quick on the uptake." That is what I said, yes.
oh my god. Oh
And
my god.
Ken
It's so
Shamrock's
dumb.
response, so Ken Shamrock accepts the challenge, and here's how he says it: "If you got the time, this is the place, and you, both of you, enter into my zone. Let's get it on."
Like I said, it's extremely proto Cena. Like Like I am here to fight, and I respect the fact that you'll step up to me like a man and fight
Yeah.
me.
But finally, it's time. What we've all been coming here for. We get the brawl
Okay.
for all rules, so let's go ahead and throw that out there for you. It
Okay.
is 3 1-minute rounds. The point system is that it is 5 points for the most punches per round, 5 points for each individual takedown, and 10 points for each individual knockdown. And a knockout ends the brawl immediately. If you can't tell quickly what the exploit might be for this kind of point system, Steve Blackman will happily show it off to you in a second.
Oh, we'll get to it. Oh,
But
yeah,
the
okay.
first match of the Brawl for All, Mark Marrow versus Steve Blackman.
Yeah, okay. And I feel like it's worth noting that they keep like up till this point they've kept showing clips of Mark Marrow like backstage training up. So you're like, "Oh man. He's going to put up a fucking fight." And so I've been wondering this whole time, what was the kayfabe explanation for this? Like, how did they justify extremely meta bullshit as like
for the tournament? How do they explain it?
Yeah, well, like, because the conceit on a meta level is we're doing real fights in the WWF, and I wasn't sure what the fuck that would look like because like if you're just doing like wrestling, it just looks like a flashier version of a flashier grapplier version of MMA. So like, what the fuck is the? It's just boxing. It's just WWF.
It's boxing where you can do wrestling takedowns.
Yeah, and like, so I guess there's a precedent for boxing in WWF, but like, still, oh god. Also, 3 60-second rounds, bruh. They know this shit can't hold an audience's attention.
They gotta get out of here.
We're doing it for. It's so insane.
All right, so
oh god, I should save it.
So Steve Blackman gets a takedown in the first 5 seconds. Okay, let's break down some IRL credentials.
Yeah.
Mark Marrow is a kickboxer, has a kickboxing background. It's part of his whole character is that he is a kickboxer in a wrestling ring who also never wins wrestling matches. He loses a lot. And Steve Blackman, the living weapon, he like IRL knows karate and shit. Okay? So Steve Blackman just nothing but takedowns. Mark Marrow has no ability to defend against a shoot wrestling takedown. And so this entire 3-minute affair is Steve Blackman doing takedowns, grappling in the middle, takedown, 5 points. I almost wanted to try to count points, but it's absurd.
I think after like round 1, he had 20 points or something because he did like 4 takedowns.
Yeah, okay. So Marrow does try to box. He plays it the way someone who only knows how to box would do. But it doesn't fucking matter because Steve Blackman's just like tackle.
Yeah, Blackman fucking breaks the meta on his first time out here.
The first match of the Brawl for All, and the meta is broken.
Too OP, please nerf.
And so
and Marrow just refuses to adapt. He's like,
I don't think he has a solution because I don't think Marrow has enough legitimate wrestling background to actually stop Blackman.
Just stay low or try to take down Blackman yourself in the same way. It's not like Blackman's doing anything particularly hard to do. He's just going low and sweeping the leg a bunch. You could do that yourself, Marrow. Try it. He keeps trying to treat this like it's anything more than just some dumb, thoughtless bullshit born whole cloth out of Vince.
I wrote Steve Blackman racking up like a cheeser online. Like just spamming moves in one move. He's spamming right now.
It's fucking like it's like if you're playing Smash and you start spamming like Ike's scythe whip move or whatever the turn.
Yeah, so at the end of the first round, Steve Blackman is up 25-0 because
Oh
he
my
got
god.
4.
Yeah, because he also got
the
like
most
one
punches and 4 takedowns.
Oh my
And
god.
okay, holy fucking shit. This was hilarious to me. This
Yes.
match was awful, but
Yes.
hilarious.
It's so dumb.
Um,
It's so
I
dumb.
noted they got like actual like trainers and shit trying to make this seem legit. Then
Yeah, see, I feel like Vince just like Vince Russo watched Rocky and he's like, we could do that.
we can do that.
Yeah.
Mark starts landing a couple punches, but it doesn't matter because takedown city, bitch.
Because Blackman just cheeses the entire time.
I noted somewhere at the end of the second round while they're resting up, we want wrestling chants.
I missed that.
Yep.
Oh no, it's so dumb.
The crowd has nothing for this. Unfortunately, they stopped showing the unofficial scorecards after the first round for both matches tonight.
They also forgot to put up the like.
They didn't put up the timer in the second round, but I think that was an accident.
I think it was too.
Mark Marrow's only desperate chance is within the last like 10 seconds, he backs Steve Blackman into a corner. And I was like, okay, time to try to knockout punch Blackman right now. But nothing happens. And then Blackman wins in what was probably a shutout. They don't show the official scores or nothing, but probably a shutout.
I think no, Marrow must have gotten like a point for getting a punch in on Blackman, but that was about it. Yeah, utter fucking K-on Mark Marrow over here. Holy
I made a
shit.
note. If Mark Marrow had any mystique, it'd be pretty dead after this.
Yeah, this is just a way to bury yourself if you look fucking incompetent.
Like, your whole gimmick is how you are a kickboxer, you're a boxing star, and you can beat any of these people's asses because you're a boxer, and you got fucking annihilated in a shoot fight tournament.
Yeah, I know. He shot too close to the sun, Austin.
Holy
Mark Marrow,
shit.
girl boss, too close to the sun.
Frankly, again, this would be more of a problem if he hadn't already lost to Sable in a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
So, quite frankly, he is already dead in the water.
Yeah, he's just burying his grave deeper at this point. He's just keeps going lower.
But yeah, Steve Blackman advances to the second round of the Brawl for All tournament. Hurrah!
Steve Blackman, his unbeatable takedown.
All right, then we get the Skittle Slam of the Week, and it is from King of the Ring when China DDT'd Owen Hart and cost him the King of the Ring match.
Except the cameras none of the cameras got like a clear shot of it. The best full shot we got was her doing that in the ring, but the ring was in the background while like Mark Henry was like punching someone in the foreground.
Vader. He was fighting Vader.
Yeah, it was Vader. Yeah, it's like Mark Henry and Vader in the foreground, but then in the background we see China just like vaguely DDTing Owen Hart, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is the Slam of the Week, and we have to fucking darken out the foreground and put a little lit up circle
just
around
so you
China
can make sure you see what we're trying to focus on here.
Yes, the Slam of the Week, ladies and gentlemen. It was so important that no cameras got a good fucking angle on it.
Skittles did not have high expectations for this. They had low standards for this.
They're like, fucking just pick whatever surprises. We don't care.
All right. So Kevin Kelly is in the locker room where Paul Bearer, Mankind, and Kane are. And he's like, why did you grant a rematch to Stone Cold Steve Austin? And voice box Kane is here.
Yeah,
because I know I can beat Stone Cold again. Kane, because I am a greater champion than my brother ever was.
I'm fully convinced that in order to like figure out how to do this, Glenn Jacobs just watched South Park and did an impression of Ned. I am convinced, because literally it just sounds like that's what he's trying to do. Like, it doesn't sound like anyone with an actual like voice box. It sounds like fucking Ned from South Park.
I mean, his voice is obviously not actually burnt, so he's literally just taking a voice box and putting it up to his throat and then doing his shitty robot.
Do they ever give a kayfabe like explanation for how he starts talking without the voice box?
Yeah, it ties into the
Oh.
fact that like the kayfabe is that all of his burn injuries are completely psychosomatic. Like they are all in his head. He is actually has no burn injuries at all.
What the
Like
fuck?
when they unmask him, they're like, "What the fuck? I thought your burns were so bad you had to wear a full face mask." And Kane's response is, "Yeah, the doctors all said that too. That I have no no burns. You sound
What?
just like the doctors
What the
who
fuck?
told me I
So,
have no burns and don't have to
Kane,
wear a mask."
so Kane went to a bunch of fucking medical experts and what he got out of it is like, oh yeah, no, you're like completely fine. He's like, no, no, I'm a
No.
horribly scarred monster. No.
It's almost like how in The Dark Knight Returns they do the whole thing with Two-Face where like he thinks Two-Face has come back, but actually his face is perfectly fine. He's just so deep in the sauce of that like he thinks he's got the
Oh
half
my
face
god.
again, except way shittier.
Oh yeah, that's it still sounds kind of weird coming out of Two-Face, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. So Kane's like he grabs the interviewer in the middle of the thing to like be like, my brother is I will be a better champion than my brother ever was. And then he like throws down the interviewer back to his feet and like storms off. And Paul Bearer turns to the interviewer and goes, "Why did you have to do that? Interview him?
I didn't get that
Why
either.
why
Also,
did he have
also glad that like Mankind literally killed himself last night, and yet we are not using him at all on this show. Great,
No, fuck that guy.
good job immediately recognizing like how fucking insane that was and
Yeah, no.
capitalizing on it.
Yeah, no. Who the fuck needs an indie darling like that? Fucking ugh. Why Vince?
All right.
The only reason Vince brings these guys on is so they can be fodder for the real stars, the true sports entertainers.
Yeah, so Undertaker is walking to the building in the parking lot very late for work.
Yeah, he's in his full biker regalia too. So much so that
He
I don't
changes
think
into
commentary.
his stupid goth gear for later.
Yeah, I know. I don't think commentary fully recognizes him.
No, they
And
don't. They're like, it's pretty dark in there. I can't see who that is. And I was like, that's the Undertaker.
That's Undertaker, which I thought it was gonna be a bit of like, oh shit, is Biker Taker about to like happen? No, he just changes.
That's just his casual wear.
That's so funny.
And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
hello, ladies. It is
Hello,
time
Val.
for the next match of the show: Val Venis versus Dick Togo of Kai and Tai, which I noted that none of them said Dick. The ring announcer doesn't say it. Jim Ross on commentary doesn't say it. They say Togo. None of them say Dick. But the on-screen nameplate says Dick Togo. So okay. So this is a weird. So Val Venis doing his Val Venis bullshit. Weirdly, he grabs a chair and threatens Yamaguchi-san, who is the little Asian man who is the manager of
who
Kai
like
and
manages. Yeah, who manages them.
Yeah, and so then while as he is walking over is to threaten Yamaguchi-san, he notices in the corner a woman sitting in a chair at ringside. This is Mrs. Yamaguchi-san, Yamaguchi-san's wife. And this is where I was like, oh no, it's time for this storyline.
Oh, they do this as a whole storyline?
This is a long-term storyline that we will be following. Honestly, the rest of this arc, we'll be following the exploits of this.
Don't want. Yeah, all right. Okay.
So,
oh boy.
I got the quote all down. I had to get this down.
No.
Could not possibly not do this line for line. So he goes, So this is Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
I've lost my place. Excuse me. Gotta get this right here.
Austin, no.
Well, ladies, if you want to get to first base with the big Valboski, just choke up on that bat and swing for the long balls.
Yeah, he makes a whole fucking analogy out of baseball. That's essentially just touch my penis, please.
Suck my dick.
Suck my cock.
And
but make
as
it
the
a
match
baseball.
is starting up, you see a blonde figure coming to the foreground, and it is Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, you told me about this in the front half, and I was still fucking taken aback by it.
Yeah, okay. So
Real quick, they also announced something called the WWF Foot Brawl.
I didn't hear that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, they ran like this little ad. It's like coming up in a few weeks.
I think I saw the ad, but I didn't really pay attention to what they were hyping.
Okay,
so
I was wondering.
whatever.
I was wondering if you knew what the fuck that was.
No.
And also, I found the name Foot Brawl exceedingly stupid.
Gross.
Yeah.
So Dick Togo is honestly doing some really sick moves in this match.
Yeah.
But
Dick Togo's over here
cares?
hey Val, sit back. Let me do my match now.
Yeah, he does like this cool move where he like runs up, he like jumps up the ropes and then backflips onto Val.
Yeah,
off the top
oh
rope.
my god,
really
that was
cool.
So clutch.
But
yeah,
again, who cares? Because Dustin Rhodes is here, and Dustin Rhodes is like, I don't think you guys. I came out here because I just don't think you guys realize the opportunity you have. I mean, there's an audience of millions of people who listen to you every week. And this is just a really great opportunity for you guys to spread the word of God.
Oh my God, he's here to be a Jesus freak.
When he said that, I had to pause because I was laughing too hard for a couple of minutes. And him just being like, you need to spread the word of God.
I feel like Dustin Rhodes in this era should have been doing matches where the stipulation was like, if you lost to him, you had to like go to church or read the Bible or something. I feel like that would have been
been phenomenal.
That would have been so good for the Heat.
Jerry Lawler is honestly kind of too stunned stupid to respond to any of this. But okay, so Dustin asks him if he is a born again. He asks Jerry, and he's a born again Christian, and Jerry completely like deflects from answering this question at all. He's like, I mean, this isn't the right time and place for this. To which Dustin Rhodes popped up. He's like, oh, this is definitely the time. The time is near.
Yeah, Dustin Rhodes, apocalypse.
He's not just a Christian Jesus freak now. He is one of the what is the
end
term
times. He's an end times guy.
He's an end timeser. So Dustin, I didn't write down the Bible quote, but he does start listing off Bible quotes.
I know.
On commentary.
Which, honestly, I believe is something that Dustin Rhodes, like IRL, is able to just pull out of his ass. He does he does seem like legitimately religious IRL, but he's like, he's going full like Jesus freak here. Have you heard about our salvation, the Lord and Savior? I can prevent you from going.
He looks at Val Venis and he's like, I think Val Venis needs to ask the Lord Jesus to come into his heart and save him. I'll be praying for him.
I'm sure someone's gonna be coming when it comes to Val Venis. Oh boy. Oh man.
Oh ladies.
Oh
you
God.
Want
Dustin.
Dustin. You think the Lord Jesus needs to come into my heart? Well, the big Valboski is the one that comes into people's hearts.
Oh, I don't like it. Also, for as much as I fucking hate Val Venis, I don't think we've ever like really seen him in ring before. If we have,
this is our first match with Val Venis.
Okay, because we've seen the promos, but I hate to admit it, he actually seems like he's pretty talented in ring too.
He's all right.
I don't want to admit that, but he seems to be keeping pace with Togo, at least all right. He fucking like he fucking flies off the top rope.
To win the match,
To win the match,
and it is called, of
like,
course,
in the center of the ring.
Yeah,
and
it's
he
also, of course,
flies.
called the money shot.
Of course,
signature maneuver.
Yes, but he like flies from ring post to center of the ring, which is actually like an impressive thing to do. So like, fuck, he's actually kind of talented. Fuck.
So he wins the match, and Yamaguchi-san gets in the ring to check on Dick Togo. Also, kind of weird that like they always call him Yamaguchi-san. Like they never use any other name for this guy.
It's not his name.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know why you need the Japanese specific honorific, except to just be like, guys, do you get it? He's Japanese.
Japan. That's it. That's literally that's why they're doing it. And that's why they're doing it.
It is. So Val, they also don't give a name to his wife. It is her name is only ever Mrs. Yamaguchi-san.
Yes.
But so Yamaguchi-san is in the ring, checking on Dick Togo. Val goes out of the ring and he starts checking out Mrs. Yamaguchi-san, and he's like doing his like cock swiveling in her face, and she looks absolutely disgusted.
Yes,
this entire time.
The way I wrote this was Val does sexual harassment. Lawler is supportive of this because Lawler on commentary, of course, is like, "Oh, I'm sure she loves it. She'll leave that loser Tamaguchi-san in no time."
So Yamaguchi-san comes over. He slaps Val in the face for hitting on his wife, and then this causes Val to deck Yamaguchi-san in the face. Then he grabs a steel chair and he hits all three members of Kai and Tai.
Yeah, he's wilding out here.
And then he starts to go back up the ramp to leave, and then he comes back and hits on Mrs. Yamaguchi-san some more.
Of course. Also, like, maybe this is just me, like, there was a younger looking like Asian girl sitting next to Mrs. Yamaguchi-san.
I did notice
and
that.
I have to wonder if that's like their daughter, and if
I wonder who that might be.
I mean, she could be completely unrelated, but I was like, huh, just with the placement. And there was a moment where I thought she was actually the one Val was going to be hitting on. I was like, nope, she looks underage. Don't do it, Val. Don't do it. So at least he didn't hit on her.
This might be my grossest noted babyface of the
Oh
ever.
my god. Yeah, he's a babyface and he's over here sexually harassing a married woman. Okay, dude.
Yep, and the evil foreigners of Kai and Tai.
The evil foreigners, which I see nothing wrong. They fight matches fair and square, and they're talented in ring. Like, why are they heels? What's the matter with them?
That's an interesting question that I don't have an answer to.
Probably isn't one.
But after all that's done, we cut deep into the crowd up in the rafters. It's Edge.
And he's being emo.
He's an emo weirdo loner. Isn't he such a strange young man?
Can somebody tell him that like Sting's already been doing this bit for a hot second now?
Do you think they kind of probably weren't stealing the Sting bit?
Oh, they were definitely stealing the Sting bit. They were 100% stealing the Sting bit. They're like, Sting's popular. I wonder what about Sting makes him popular. It's definitely the fact that he hangs out up in the rafters. Let's do that.
They looked at that and they said that is what broody edgelord characters do. Is they hang out in the rafters.
Oh my god. Yes.
So we cut to the locker room. Michael Cole has gone in here to talk to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's like, how do you feel about tonight? And Stone Cold's like, I didn't really lose my title because The Undertaker beat me last night. Right now, and you're pissing me off. Get out of here. And he like throws Michael Cole out of the locker room within like 30 seconds.
Noted babyface.
Then the fourth match of the show is our triple threat match. Triple H versus Owen Hart. Versus Ken Shamrock. And I noted while Owen is coming out, Ken Shamrock does a WWE 2K22 entrance run in and attacks Owen around the ring.
Wait, is that a thing? Is that a thing in 2K?
In 2K games, you can like do a run in mid entrance and just
oh my god. Except he does the most power walky looking like run in I've ever seen. Like he's moving at like a weirdly slow pace and his arms are coming up.
Yeah. So this match was interesting to me because it's like you can tell that this is very early in the concept of a triple threat match in this company. Because it's like a lot of the kind, like if you watch a triple threat match now, there's a lot of like established tropes and pacing that just isn't here. And it doesn't make it necessarily a bad match, but it definitely makes it it's an interesting experience.
I'll be honest, that didn't register with me, but you have kind of a better sense for that than I do.
Yeah, but it's kind of like how like none of them ever just like a traditional, like a normal triple threat match is they still is like the guy is out to the outside selling, and a lot of these guys they just kind of stand in the ring and just like not do anything while other people are hitting moves.
It was a little confusing on that front. I'll give you that. There were some moments I was like, why are people just kind of like standing there? Where's the action? It did feel like they were having trouble like kind of establishing like a through line of the action. I will definitely that.
Yeah, I think it's just because like again, the WWF genuinely wasn't doing these types of matches at this point in time. This is new ground for them. So they don't really quite know how it should work. But they're trying, and it is kind of neat. I think to give a positive spin to that though is the match. I thought the match felt a lot more like claustrophobic in a good way because everyone stayed in the ring. So like it always felt like at any given moment that third person that is standing there doing nothing could actually just walk over there and stop whatever's happening.
It does. It can add some like tension to the proceedings, but also again it does kind of like kill some of the momentum, kind of like defeat some of the through line that's happening, stuff like that.
So early on in the match I wrote Jerry Lawler seems under the impression that if Ken Shamrock loses he will no longer be king of the ring.
Well, Jerry Lawler seems overall very sensitive about how Shamrock represents the concept of kingship,
which actually does check out for Jerry Lawler.
Yes, he is Jerry the King Lawler after all, and hashtag representation matters. So I get it. There was something your boy is always so bad about writing down spots, but there was something that happened at some point in the match that I actually thought was like kind of sick, and I don't see often is Triple H hits this nice fucking drop kick from the top rope.
Oh yeah, he doesn't do that anymore. He kind of never had. I don't think he's done that since he like tore his quad up in 2000.
I don't think I've very often seen a move like that, but that was sick to watch.
Oh yeah. It was during this match I noticed a sign in the crowd that said Ted Turner is a crook.
Oh my god.
Gotta get your WWF tribalism signs out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's war.
We're at war.
We're at
WCW.
War. Bring your soldiers, bring your most devastating signs.
I feel like at some point we have to watch the Raw where DX invades Nitro.
What?
It's insane. It's like it's goofy DX bullshit that is also because WWE loves to use that iconography of that skit in their documentaries. Also puts a heightened sense of importance on it.
It just sounds dumb. It sounds
it is dumb DX humor, but like if you look
being petty.
It was, but at a but in like a WWF documentary, you think like a real turning point in the war was when DX valiantly took a tank and drove to WCW Nitro.
Wait, did they actually go to like Nitro? They didn't set up like
No, they went to the genuine arena where Nitro was, and they knocked on the garage door to be let in the building.
What in the fuck?
Nobody let them in, but they did genuinely roll up to the arena where Nitro was and be like, "Hey guys, what's up? Let us in."
Triple H goes on, crashes Nitro and goes, "You want a war? You've got one.
Yeah, it would have been the stupidest thing for the WWF if they actually went on Nitro, because then
That would have been
that
so
night on
fucking
Nitro,
funny,
WCW could be like, guys, DX is here fucking live.
That would be so good. I wish.
It would be a complete self-owned by the WWF and WCW if Eric Bischoff let him in the building.
I know. Fucking WWF is over here playing petty tribalism, and then Bischoff is just like, yeah, let's be bad. Let's break bread. And everyone's like, wait, what? No, we weren't.
The story on it is basically like, because these are 5 unknown individuals just rolling up to Nitro, Bischoff had no idea what they would do or what could happen. Well, it was a Jeep dressed up as a tank.
Okay.
But these are 5 unknown people, outside people who he has no ability to control, nor does he know what they intend to do. So he did the safe choice of keeping them out.
Of saying no. Oh, that's so fucked, dude.
Mm-hmm. But hilarious shit. Anyway, back to this old Triple H here. So, let's see. During the commercial break, a really cool spot that I wish had been during the commercial break of Ken Shamrock had Owen Hart in a sleeper hold, and then Triple H had Ken Shamrock in a sleeper hold.
That sounds hilarious.
And then,
stack up of
there was a stack chain here of sleeper holds.
Yes. Give me that like times 5, please. Mm-hmm. Also, JR says that no one hits the sharpshooter as well as Owen does. So JR clearly is like, fuck that Brett guy. What an absolute poser. JR knows who his allegiances belong to. Wait, is this a thing? Does JR not like Bret Hart?
I mean, it's probably just like he's not in the WWF, so fuck you. We're not gonna.
Oh yeah, Brett's over in WCW.
Brett is in WCW right now, fucking around in the NWO, I think.
That's
he will soon. No, he's not in the NWO. He's not in the NWO yet. He will be soon.
No, but that's why they're fucking they're implicitly burying him. That's great. Also, like at one point in the match, you hear like the ringing of a bell for some reason.
The random inadvertent bell ring.
And Jerry Lawler fucking goes, "Who rung that bell? Is Mr. McMahon around?" God damn it, that was actually funny. I actually laughed at that. No, fuck you.
Oh
no!
Oh, I noted during this match they did a lot of like somebody hits a move and they break it up with a different move. The third guy breaks it up with a different move thing.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna write them all. I'm not gonna mention them all. But one time Owen hits Triple H with a DDT, and then Ken Shamrock comes in and hits a Judas effect.
Oh,
like he does the back, like he does like the back elbow.
Yeah.
Like that's a Judas effect, brother.
Judas. What a prophet. What a prophet. Ken Shamrock just break down the walls.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock has a really sick like sequence of big moves though, because he hits a power slam to Triple H, then he does a Hurricane Rana to Owen, and then he gets Owen in the ankle lock.
That's it. This match, like, overall was like fucking sick work-wise. I have to give it to him. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, the pacing was kind of fucked, but like work-wise, these were 3 really talented dudes, and like
they were.
Yeah, holy shit. Shamrock's actually fucking good, like really good.
He is.
He seems very proficient.
He is a great in-ring wrestler.
Too bad he also has to have the ability to talk in order to.
He does not have a good talky personality for wrestling. So, oops. All right, time for the messy ending of our lives here. A lot of interweaving storylines all in once. So Owen hits the ropes and Chyna pulls the rope down. So Owen falls out of the ring. And Ken Shamrock follows Owen to the outside. So Owen and Shamrock are brawling on the outside. Then Triple H is still in the ring. The Rock runs down to the ring. The camera misses The Rock running down. By the time it cuts back to that, The Rock is already there at ringside. He takes the Intercontinental Championship. hits Triple H in the face with it, and Triple H is just dead for like 30 seconds until Shamrock disposes of Owen and he gets in the ring, pins Triple H for the win.
Dude, fucking, like, so Rock stole. Wait, so
Rock
Triple H,
is the Intercontinental Champion.
he's the IC, and Triple H is the European.
Think so.
Okay. I was so confused. I was like, wait, who the fuck has what belt? I didn't. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So that's cleared up for me. Cool. Yeah, and so Rock comes in to interfere with Triple H, despite the fact. Yeah, wasn't it Shamrock versus Rock at?
It was, but DX and the Nation have been fighting for months.
Yeah, so I guess Rock's willing to let bygones be bygones just to like screw over.
He hates Triple H more than he hates Ken Shamrock.
He's like, I just like dudes named Rock. I don't know, fucking, you know.
So after the match, Owen attacks Shamrock, and then,
like they've been building some shit off the fact that like Owen like previously broke Ken Shamrock's leg.
Yeah,
so, like he's trying to break his leg again.
Yeah, Owen Hart has become like the Nation member that Ken Shamrock is really feuding with.
Well, yeah, and like
instead of The Rock,
seems like they have good. Yeah, we can only have The Rock like lose so many times to this otherwise utter mid-carder. So here's some Owen for you.
Here's Owen. But then DX, like, Rock stayed up on the stage to like taunt, and all 4 members of DX. No, it's 3 because China's still at ringside. So it's Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac. They all run out to whoop Rock's ass. And then as they're brawling, the Nation comes out. The Godfather, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry, they all come down.
DX shows up, and then like 10 seconds later, the Nation does. Nation was like, they were fucking waiting. They were waiting up for DX to pounce. Holy shit.
Yeah. And in all this chaos, Owen is still in the ring, and he is like wrapping Ken Shamrock's knee around a ring post, or ankles around the ring post, and trying to like break his shit.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to get that. So was the ankle break thing, as far as you know, was that like real? Was that like
that was probably a real ankle break. They're now just weaving.
And now they're working it for the heat. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, if I had a nickel for every time Owen Hart legit injured somebody and they turned it into a storyline, I'd have 2 nickels.
What was the other time?
When he broke Steve Austin's neck.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so yeah, he had the Owen 316 says I just broke your neck shirt.
Oh my god, that's so fun. Yeah, they turned it into merch. That's so insane.
Mm-hmm. After all that kerfuffle was ended, we kind of get like a check in with JR and Jim Ross. I don't normally care or write down when they say things, when they have these kind of bits. Yes. But I did want to write down that Jerry Lawler is like, my sources are telling me the Undertaker is here to make some kind of confession.
Yeah, Taker here about to drop his cover of Confessions.
Where is Dustin Rhodes? Undertaker is about to make a confession. Where is Dustin Rhodes?
Oh my god. No, we just gotta have him getting on mic and doing the Usher cover. Taker's like, these are my confessions.
All right, so I noticed a sign in the crowd, I hate Canada.
Sure. Yeah, these people really fucking vitriolically hate Owen Hart, which sucks to see.
Yeah. So Michael Cole is here for an in-ring interview with The Undertaker, and he's like, why did you interfere, Undertaker? What was that about? And Taker goes, I don't owe anybody an explanation, but I will say why I came down to the ring. Mm-hmm. It's common knowledge there's no love lost between my brother and I.
Okay, side note, I feel like the phrase no love... side note, I feel like the phrase no love lost needs to become one of our noted wrestling tropes. I've heard that so fucking much in wrestling. There's no love lost between these two. Like, so much so that now Taker's it's usually said by commentary, but even Taker's fucking saying it here. God, it's a trope.
Yeah, so now they're kind of like trying to frame the Kane Undertaker relationship as like, I love my brother, Paul Bear is the
Yeah.
one that's causing all the problems here.
Aw, he cares about his brother.
Which
That's
is what is he explains like why he interfered. He's like, I know one day we may have to destroy each other, but I couldn't stand by and watch my brother set himself on fire trying to live up to my legacy.
yeah. You're not allowed to kill yourself. Only I'm allowed to kill you.
Yes, I did what I had to do. And then Vince McMahon comes out and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And Vince McMahon cuts an utterly incoherent promo where he goes like, "See, you say you care about Kane. You don't care about Kane. You just think you can beat him for the title. And what's more, you don't think you can beat Steve Austin for the title." Which, like, please, what indication do you have of any of this, Vince? But then he goes,
He's just pot stirring.
yeah, he's
Vince's goals are to keep Kane, Undertaker, and Steve Austin all fighting each other.
and Vince then proceeds to call Taker what I feel like Taker should take as a compliment. You are
I
the
did write
most
this quote.
evil, vile, contemptible demon the devil ever put on this earth. First of all, Vince, no you. Second of all, why is that why is that an insult to him? Third of all, why is that your conclusion from he just wants to fight Austin?
I don't think he's trying to insult Taker. I think he's trying to like hype up Taker, and because the next part is him then threatening, you better not fucking interfere tonight.
Yeah, well, okay.
Vince is trying to be like, you are the most evil thing ever, and I will still fucking kill you if you interfere.
But like, why the fuck doesn't he want Taker to interfere in the match? Because Vince's ideal world is one in which Kane remains the champion, and Kane remains the champion either if Taker interferes and doesn't get caught, and because Taker wouldn't be like trying to fuck up Kane here. Everybody suspects that he's really just trying to fuck up Austin, Vince included. And if Taker did interfere and got caught, Kane just gets to retain the title by DQ. So like, why doesn't Vince want him interfering? I feel like that'd only be a boon to Vince.
Trying to think this out. I'm trying to think this out here.
Yeah, like, it made no sense. It was this fucking promo was incoherent. Because he starts off by saying, you only think you can beat Kane for the title, not Austin. So it would be, by Vince's own logic, in Taker's best interest to make sure that Kane remains the champion. So any interference he would do would lead to Kane still being champion. What?
Yeah, I guess I'm not totally sure what he's. Maybe he is afraid that Undertaker will like screw Kane this time, because remember, the only reason because according to Undertaker, the reason he screwed Kane was because his brother was going to set himself on fire if he lost. So
but then Vince's own logic is that, oh no, he actually doesn't give a shit.
I don't think Vince believes that. I don't think Vince sincerely believes that.
So then he just comes out here and says it even though he doesn't believe it, but then also like will publicly insinuate that he doesn't actually believe that. Oh my god, he's so fucking incoherent. Oh my god. Goddamn Vince, dude. Holy shit.
All right, after this we get the JVC kaboom of the week, and it is the Mankind Fall.
Yes. Yes, you see the tooth and everything. It's very good.
Yeah. Then match 5, the second of the Brawl for All matches.
Yes, we see JBL backstage warming up with a punching bag.
So it is Mark Canterbury. If that name doesn't ring a bell, that is Henry O. Godwin. You know, the pig farmers.
The pig farmer.
Hog and Pig. Phineas Godwin, Henry O. Godwin.
Oh, Godwin, yup.
So right now, they have been repackaged as Southern Justice, the personal bodyguards of JEFF, JARREWP, Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, my.
So according to Jim Ross, Henry O. Godwin wanted to use his legal name, Mark Canterbury, for this contest. So,
I'm tired of my name spelling out hog. Do you know how embarrassing that is? And Vince is like, do you see half this roster? Everyone's got a more embarrassing name than you. Yeah. Do you see what Kane was named? What Kane used to be named? Get over yourself. You're fine.
Yeah. And versus Bradshaw. As Jim Ross put it, ain't gonna be Festivus, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, JR
Which is the wrong season for that kind of reference because Festivus is in December.
In winter, yeah. JR and Lawler are like super putting this one over. They keep talking about how this is going to be.
They're like, this is 300 pounders. This is going to be a slobber knocker.
It's going to be a slobber knocker.
They are really hoping that they're going to see a knockout. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here.
And
they are hoping that we're going to have a knockout.
They keep talking about how this could be like a brawl fight where both of them are drunk off their asses, and I kind of wish that both of them were actually like super drunk when they did this.
To be honest, I saw the way them throwing those punches. It looks like two drunks fighting at a bar.
This is true, but it's not. I don't think in this case it's because of liquor. I think it's because they're fucking incompetent fighters.
Yeah. These are two guys whose legitimate fighting experience is being a tough guy in a bar. And you can tell because they just like square up at each other and try to punch each other. Like, no form. Yeah. No form at all.
Not only no form, neither of them are keeping up with the fucking meta. Where are the gazillions of takedowns so you can
Mark tried.
Mark tried like once.
After the first round. No, he gets blocked like 5 times.
Oh, I only fought like 1 or 2.
No, it's not that Mark Canterbury doesn't try to get takedowns. It's that he doesn't have the form to take down Bradshaw.
And Bradshaw is just too focused on punching him like
Bradshaw's an idiot, and he can't do shit.
Flying.
They have no concept of how to square up for a boxing match. I'll tell you that. They got no defense.
I know.
Bradshaw has a 5-0 lead after the first round. And Jerry Lawler going into the second round is like, I can't wait to enter into this stuff myself. He never will, but imagine ourselves in Jerry Lawler in a shoot fight.
I fucking wish. Also, like, Lawler tries to claim, I think it's between Lawler and JR, they try to claim that, like, the Brawl for All is a major innovation by the Fed, as if it's like just boxing but 3 minutes instead of an hour.
It's
dumb. Top tier innovation.
Yeah, so the second round is where the match kind of like takes a turn as Bradshaw just he gets like 5 punches in a row in the head to Mark Canterbury. He just starts whooping the fuck out of him. I was kind of amazed Mark did not get knocked out.
Oh my god!
At this point in the fight,
it was like it is really funny how like this being like a shoot fight. The first 2 matches ever in the Brawl for All read like fucking early tournament squashes, like you would book them in an I got a joke about that in a second when we get to the third round.
But I wrote JB. They point out that Bradshaw is bleeding out of his mouth, and then I wrote, to be fair, Mark Canterbury definitely has brain damage. So
dude, this man is getting socked all over the fucking.
As we hit the end of the second round, turning into the third round, you can hear Goldberg.
What?
They're chanting for fucking Goldberg at this
Why are they chanting for Goldberg?
Because there is no sign of disrespect quite like chanting for another wrestling company's major star.
Oh my god. So this was just the audience being pissed that they had to watch this.
The live wrestling crowd will never enjoy Brawl for All matches.
Yeah, okay.
As an entertainment out value, it's a failure.
So yeah, I need to fucking like break this down now. So this was Vince Russo being like, you know what would be edgier than anything? Well, I guess not just Vince Russo, but like, you know, overall, you know what would be edgier than anything else? Really help us get a leg up is if we like featured like real fighting, real guys being dudes.
I
And
mean, this is such a Vince Russo idea of like in a show of nothing but fake shit. Here is a real thing, and we will call out how this is a real thing.
well, okay, would they do it in like the most like kind of cheeky, winky, like we're gonna see who the best overall fighter is in the which is a fucking god. What a way to implicitly bury any of your champions.
Oh
Because
my
like,
god.
especially if they're not squaring
What
up.
a way to bury the people in this tournament.
Yeah, I know.
Mark Mero looks like a chump. We talked
I
about that,
know.
but Mark Canterbury also looks like a chump. And honestly, JBL looks like a fucking jackass too, because he's out here throwing these shitty punches.
Yeah, I like at least he's putting up some kind of like offense that's not just Steve Blackman being a complete cheap ass spanning the OP move, but like it's still like there is no form. All of a sudden, like all of it fucking melts away, and like oh my god, they don't even make any kind of spectacle out of it. The fact that these rounds are a minute long and they get 3 of them feels like an implicit admittance that this shit is fucking stupid and they don't trust their audience to actually like care about it. So why are we doing it in the first
They
place?
also don't trust their wrestlers to be able to do it because none of them are trained
Yeah.
in shoot fighting. So
like it's this feels like one of those things that like it was an idea. It was a really like off the wall idea, and then it got like way too far in the development process and kind of hit like the point of no return before they realized, wait, this is fucking stupid and makes no sense on so many levels.
All because Vince Russo wanted to see JBL get his ass kicked in a shoot fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the best part. And JBL still fucking won.
Yep. So this I wrote in the third to start early in the third round, Canterbury gets that takedown. I'm like, psychology, brother.
Hey.
He's been spending this whole fight trying to get a takedown, and he gets blocked. And then in the third round, he gets the takedown. Yeah, that's wrestling psychology.
What a king.
But the rest of the whole third round is Bradshaw's bleeding the clock out. Like he is blocking Mark Canterbury from getting more takedowns, and he is just otherwise just letting the clock play.
Yeah, so even when JBL's not cheesing it like fucking Steve Blackman was, he's still like exploiting these very exploitable rules. Like able to just kind of like, because it's only a minute long, so it's so easy to drain the fucking clock here.
Yeah,
it's so easy to get like a decent lead and then just like do everything in your power to refuse to engage.
Like especially because like he most certainly won the most punches for those first 2 rounds. It's like 10-0, right? And then he knows he can block Mark Canterbury. Canterbury went like 1 of 5 on takedowns. Yeah. So like in his JBL plays defense and is just like, I'm just going to keep making sure he doesn't take me down again. And like one time when Canterbury went for a takedown, JBL like pushed him down and then just like sat on him for like 10 seconds to just
I know.
Block.
He's such a like God, none of this makes any sense.
It's so shit. The match ends with Hogg mid takedown attempt that not only failed, but JBL is just punching him in the head while he's got him down in the position.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Bradshaw wins what I assume was 15-5. And we're done. Congrats.
We're done. Oh my god. It's such a fucking nothing burger. The Brawl for All is such a meme, and it's so nothing.
I wish it was funnier than it is.
I know. Like, it is funny to watch, especially when, like, these are matches of just dudes finding ways to, like, exploit the meta. But like, as an overall experience, it's nothing. It is 6 minutes out of this, like, hour 40-minute show for 2 matches, and we get nothing out of it. Oh my god, it's why are we wasting our time on this? Oh
yeah. Yeah. So
ouch, oof, owie.
Edge is still hanging out in the rafters, guys.
Yeah, we're still we cut back to Edge. He's still being emo. He's still
All
being
right.
not Sting.
And then here is the Legion of Doom. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, LOD's here, so shit's sure to get goofy.
Yeah, the LOD has a big surprise tonight. And
Yes.
Animal is like, this man saw potential of us. We were just a couple of punks from Chicago. And he brought us to the top of the wrestling world, Paul Ellering. I was actually pretty hyped for this.
Yeah, who the fuck is Paul Ellery, and
Precious
why the hell
Paul-
why do Lawler and JR that he is like yeah,
Quote of the night. Precious
who's
Paul Ellering. I thought he was dead. I thought he was lost in the Iditarod or something.
Yeah. Why the fuck did they think that like he's lying frozen dead somewhere in the fucking like
Alaska.
middle of the Yukon? Yeah.
I don't know. But okay.
Did he not make an infamous excursion to the north or something?
I don't know about it. So
yeah.
Paul Ellering was the original manager of the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom.
I did gather that.
Right, yeah. So his gimmick is basically like being like the brains. Like he's a super smart guy. He's well read. He walks around. He walks around with a copy of the Wall Street Journal and like reads from it because you see he is a smart, well read man.
Yes, that time in the late 90s where Dr. Eggman took an interest in the stock market and also pro wrestling.
Not even an inaccurate description of Paul Ellering.
Dude, this dude looks like a fucking IRL and like skinnier version of Eggman from Sonic. Like he's bald, he's got the mustache, he's got the shades. Literally, I was like, what the fuck is Robotnik doing here?
Mm-hmm. So Hawk is then kind of repeats a lot of Animal's points when Paul gets in the ring, and then he's like, Paul, talk to him. Got something to say. And then out come the fucking Disciples of Apocalypse.
DOA.
8 ball and skulls. With their DOA gimmick.
Only one motorcycler tag team gimmick allowed in these parts, pal.
So then, they get in the ring and square up. And then Paul
and JR and I noticed that like commentary is like, oh, we may have a tag team war going on tonight, and I checked the episode timer, saw like not a lot of time left, and very much not a lot of time left in this segment, and I was like,
no. So Paul Ellering gets on the mic and goes, I want to introduce you to my new team, 8 Ball and Skull, the DOA.
Yes.
Listen, I don't have a very high opinion of the Road Warriors circa 1998. But are you telling me if you're Paul Ellering, you'd rather manage fucking 8 Ball and Chains?
Nah, man, those sound like 2 winners. Those sound like 2 guys that can get over.
So the DOA whoops Legion of Doom's ass, including Paul. Paul Ellering takes the Wall Street Journal. Just starts hitting them with the newspaper.
Oh my god! It's
and Jim Ross tries to make it a symbolic thing of the 1930s stock crash. They're getting beaten up by this, like when he's hitting them with the Wall Street Journal newspaper. He tries to make it a symbolic thing. I'm like, no.
Oh no, man! What the fuck is it with father figures in wrestling and being like less loyal than like fucking Judas Iscariot? Why does every single father figure in wrestler have to like turn on their proverbial sons?
You make a good point. You know who the biggest traitor father is in wrestling today? Rey Mysterio.
Yes, right up there right up there with Billy Gunn. Both of them heartlessly betraying their sons, leaving
No,
them.
no. No. The ass boys are just a bunch of entitled little pricks. No, they're Billy Gunn is in the right, but Rey Mysterio, that piece of shit. And this is why his son had to do hard time. That he is a criminal. You realize what he did when he was on the inside, what he had to do to survive? Rey Mysterio doesn't care. He is a bad father.
Rey Mysterio is a bastard, man. Also, sidebar, I love how now, because of all the memes, Dominic is like leaning into being like, maybe I should get a paternity test. I do look a lot more like Eddie. Dom's like, damn, I wish that social worker had taken me away all those years ago.
So, back to 98. Kevin Kelly is in the parking lot. He has found The Undertaker. And he's like, what? So are you going to listen to Vince? And he's like, nobody tells me what to do.
The rules.
So our main event, and Stone Cold versus Kane for the WWF title. I wrote 15 whole minutes for the main event. Be careful, Russo. That's a lot of wrestling.
Oh, wow. Wait, does he not like to do longer?
No, he believes that the audience has no interest in long, boring wrestling matches. We got to just go. More stuff, new stuff all the time.
Austin, it is unfucking real the amount of contempt I have for like all three of the biggest names in wrestling booking in the 90s. Holy shit. The deep hatred I feel for Vince McMahon, Vince Russo, and Eric Bischoff. It's like, it's astronomical. And each one, every time we like focus on one of them, like it seems like they top themselves and each other for stupidity, like just on a constant loop.
Hey, Paul Heyman's all right. He just doesn't pay anybody.
Paul Heyman's like fine. That's fair. Paul Heyman's chill, aside from the fact that he like is a cheapskate who
he runs off of IOUs.
Yeah, he's a cheapskate who screwed everyone who worked with him. But at least he's not an annoying fucking like anti-Mark who thinks he's like the voice of like wrestling intelligentsia. At least he's not annoying.
And that's the true worst sin of all.
That's the true worst sin. Being an annoying piece of shit. Fuck all these guys. And also fuck every way in which Vince Russo like worsened and crashed into the sport of wrestling, but you know that's a whole other conversation.
Rip. All right. The match is fine. I don't think we need to do very specific notes on it. Like it's not terrible. I would probably put it as my second favorite match of the night.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
So, but you know, JR seems to think The Undertaker could have done something else to prevent his brother from self-emulating. Like, he's like, why did The Undertaker have to go do that? I mean, I understand that he cares about his brother, don't want his brother to burn himself to death, but there must have been another way. And it's like, was there? Kane was like, if I lose, I set myself on fire. Seems like there was only one way to stop that.
I still don't understand why the fuck Kane was like, doing his best Human Torch impression over losing, but like
I think like Paul Bearer has like one line that almost implies that Vince might have pushed him into doing that.
Sure.
Vince but like, it's not
you're useless to me, go kill yourself.
Yeah, but it's not something that's remarked upon enough to like there's like a real explanation. It's just another way to up the stakes and make it more obvious that Kane was going to beat Stone Cold.
I love those up stakes. I love them at a well done at an altitude of 10,000 feet. Up those stakes all the way up.
Another great commentary bit here is Jerry Lawler is on commentary parroting all that wholesome shit that Vince said earlier.
I know.
And Jim Ross is like, "Oh, have you seen Kane? Salute the flag." And Jerry Lawler has to be like, well, no, but Vince said, I haven't seen it, but Vince said it. And he's like, oh, and Jerry's like, oh, so you just believe everything you hear? And Jerry Lawler goes, no, I believe everything that Vince McMahon says.
Fun fact, actually, Undertaker had the urn Actually, what Paul Bearer has for Kane is like one of those little like American flags you can hold in your hand, and
He just throws it up in mid match.
Yep.
Kane just looks at it, salutes, and that's how he wins.
I would love to see like Murica Kane as a like what the fuck would that look like as a gimmick? That would be so goofy.
Right.
He's a demon. How can you tell? He fucking loves the US. Anyway,
Yeah, so late into the match, the Undertaker comes on down to the ring and seems content to just watch for the moment. This is the point in the match where I noted a sign that says "Send help, the Gulf is on fire."
That's what that was. What
Yep.
the fuck?
I don't know enough about the specific tragedies of 1998 to know this, like what we're talking about here. But I mean, oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Who could be surprised by that? Sounds about right.
Yeah. So
evergreen comment.
Yeah,
the Gulf
shout
is
out
on
to
fire.
I guess the really based sign maker there. Yeah. It was funny. I did like just kind of write down partway through like this is just a solid match between Austin and Kane. They're just like they got good chemistry. It's a good bout. They're executing moves well. And then as soon as I wrote that, like Kane hits a choke slam on Austin, I'm like, man, he's got nothing on. Early Kane's choke slam is like nothing compared to Taker's.
He's still working this out. He's still working out how to make.
He's still working out how to be like a palette swapped Undertaker.
Yeah, so Kane goes for the tombstone. Austin gets out of it. Austin
because he's got like both of Austin's legs across one shoulder. He doesn't have like Austin's legs straddling him, which is like, no, that's not how you do it, but okay.
Yeah, so Stone Cold goes for the stunner. It's blocked. Kane goes for the big boot. He misses. Stone Cold stunner by the rattlesnake.
Dude,
1, 2, 3 for the win.
Kane like moves at a snail's pace in the last 10 seconds of this match. Like he was moving super well throughout this whole thing, putting up a good fight. And then like Stone Cold hit like one good counter on him. And then Kane just momentum just like slowed to a crawl and he stood there like, like Austin gets out of the attempted tombstone and Kane he turns around slowly like this fucking oaf. He's like, what's going on back? Oh no, I'm getting attacked now. Yeah. And then he goes out like a bitch, which like
I thought the ending was kind of anticlimactic. It was like it just ends.
And it's so short. Like, okay, it's long for a Vince Russo fight.
It was a solid 10 minutes match, like, I think, which is a lot.
You could argue that he's getting psyched out by the fact that like Taker is now here at like ringside watching. Taker came out to watch. So like
they don't play that. They don't play it that way though.
They play it a little bit, like a little before like that final sequence happens. Kane goes to the corner and like looks at Taker and seems kind of uneasy. So like maybe they are trying to do like, oh, he's like psyched out because Taker's here and he's trying to prove himself in front of his big brother and he couldn't hold up to the pressure or something.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know.
Kane,
either way,
WWF
like
champion for exactly 1 day.
Oh my god. I don't know why the fuck we put the belt on him here. Except I have one thought. Is this is because after Austin gets the win, Taker steps in the ring and he and Austin have a confrontation. So is this being used as like a build up to push a proper Austin versus Taker feud?
Yes. That is going to happen. Okay. Taker and Kane dominate Austin's storylines for the next several months.
So Kane is still going to be a part of it all too?
Yes, Kane is still going to be involved.
I usually fucking hate like 1 day super short transitional champs like that, but in this case, I have to say they've woven it well enough that I can kind of get down with it. Like the reason for Austin temporarily losing the belt is that's what gets Taker involved.
Yeah, it's also kind of a way to give Vince a win because like Austin beats the shit out of Vince's schemes and Vince himself like 95% of the time.
But like this isn't even like a a win because of anything Vince did. This is gonna be
No,
got lucky because like Taker.
Well, but the idea of like put Austin in a first blood match with a guy in a full bodysuit was Vince's entirety. Like, I am gonna screw Austin out of this belt,
one way or another.
Mm-hmm. After the match, Undertaker gets in the ring and he looks like he's gonna do something. So Austin just strikes first. He just hits a stunner on Undertaker and heads on out of there.
Yeah, I know. And then, of course, we cut to, like, the fucking Brothers of Destruction ESP sitting up at the same time spot.
Yeah, that was cool.
You can tell they're still in the early stages of that because Kane takes Kane's, like, legs behind Taker for
I don't know how to do this move.
Yeah, he's still working out a lot of the bugs here. But it's also funny how, like, they always play this. Like, if the two of them are knocked down in a ring, they invariably sit up at the same time. Like, it's this weird fucking ESP between them. They're like twin instinct or whatever.
Except they're not twinned brothers.
Yes, but they're both spooky boys and they're related. So they're compelled to sit up at the same time and da.
Yeah, so Austin's just backing up on the ramp. He flips them both a bird. And he leaves. Yeah. Paul Bearer is just like, no.
Dude, fucking Paul Bearer was such a tremendous ham. I kind of realized watching through this, I actually really like Attitude Era Southern Preacher Paul. Like, it's a really good, modern for 1998 evolution on the character. And it lets him, like, it honestly does add a little bit of menace to him, like making him a little more normal. Kind of makes him feel more real and less goofy, and it does kind of add this menace to him, but it is also like quite still goofy and fun, and he never oversells it. He goes way the fuck over the top, but it still never feels like he's overselling it. He was such a good ham.
Yeah, I do love me some Paul Bearer. So we get the extra attitude.
Yes.
Because the show ends. The cable broadcast ends with Austin walking to the back.
Yeah, but we get extra special.
The dark match, the dark footage.
Yeah.
Kane and Undertaker just start brawling in the ring.
I know. It looks like Taker mostly beating up on Kane.
Yeah, Taker hits a choke slam on Kane. This is how you do the choke slam.
Yeah. You idiot, you fucked up the move.
And then as Taker goes to leave the ring, he walks by Paul Bearer, punches him in the face, and then he leaves.
He just fucking socks him. So good, dude.
Yeah, and then the extra attitude ends as Kane ends up getting back up, and then him and Paul leave the ring.
Yeah. Oh my
god. So yeah, an absolutely insane episode of Monday Night Raw.
Fucking bonkers. All of this was so nuts. And the thing we came here to see was the most nothing burger bullshit of all of it. There is one joke we have to this, and it's the fact that, like, the meta is so easy to just, like,
takedown
cheap
spam.
Shot your way through. Yeah. OP, please nerf.
Yeah. A lot of crazy shit here. I genuinely enjoy this whole, like, Austin Kane Undertaker arc they're in the middle of here. This kind of like Taker and Kane don't quite seem to know whose side of each other are they on.
Yeah.
Austin doesn't trust either of them. Vince is trying to play them all off on each other.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, and, like, the three of them have all really good chemistry together in ring. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, like, if they worked that many, like, indies together before or whatever, but, like, I don't know, but fucking, like, just something about it, like, they just seem to be so natural with each other in the ring, and it's awesome to see. Like, you know, obviously Taker and Kane aren't, like, big stars in the way The Rock was, but it's cool to see Austin square off with, like, an opponent more interesting than just let's throw Dwayne at him, since these are our two biggest guys. Like, and the fact that we're actually getting some good work out of them, yeah, I'm super into it.
Mm-hmm. We'll be following this, obviously, because we're just going to keep watching through the summer of '98. We'll be
Hell
following
yeah, brother.
developments on this as we go along, as we watch
I'm
more
excited to see it.
of this shitball tournament.
I am so excited to see how much fucking dumber it gets.
It's going to keep, I don't think we've hit peak stupid yet. I don't think.
I'm so excited. I feel like there is so much more room for bullshit that we have yet to conceive. It's going to be a real team effort to like really show the audience every single way in which the Brawl for All was the most ill-conceived and stupid idea in like all of ever.
Yeah. But that is for a later day. For next time, we head on back to 2014. It is time for the night that changed it all. The Royal Rumble.
Oh shit! We watching the Rumble?
Let's
get ready.
Let's get ready to rumble as Daniel Bryan has a one-on-one match with Bray Wyatt. Okay, great. And of course, what's going to happen is we're going to get to the main event with the Rumble, and Daniel Bryan is going to enter it. He's going to win. It's time. Let's go. You cannot convince me that isn't going to happen.
Obviously, because
I mean that's such a brain dead obvious story beat. Like, of course, that's what they're gonna do.
And if there's anything that the Fed is notorious for, it is for always seeing the writing on the wall and always making the most intelligent booking decisions to tell a really cohesive story. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I know they just brought back Batista and they're hyping him up, his return at the Rumble. But I mean, I'm sure that's they're going to use that to build up a different match for him at WrestleMania. He's not going to win.
No, of course, that'd be
Batista
so,
versus
easy.
Orton would be so silly. Like that. No, we're not doing that.
No way, right? Like, it's so clear. The audience loves Daniel Bryan. And the audience really wants to see Daniel Bryan succeed. It's so much so that they effectively went off script when they were in his hometown and hijacked the entire main event that was supposed to be about Cena and Orton. So the company clearly knows that DB is like their MVP right now, and they so obviously need to play that to its fullest potential, right? And on top of that, he has a story going on where he got screwed out of the belt in the first place. So obviously he's finally going to get his big triumph, right?
Yeah. We got this down.
I can't wait, Austin, to watch the most uncontroversial Royal Rumble in all of history.
Time. You know, sometimes it's just so obvious who the winner's got to be.
I know. Like it's just like fucking this year. Like, you know, Cody Rhodes.
It had to be Cody.
Horizon. Well, no. Are you kidding me? Like, you know, Cody Rhodes, like, he's fine, but it had to be Sammy, right? And that's exactly what happened. Like, he's the one with the whole bloodline storyline going. It had to be him, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's like with Daniel Bryan. They definitely took a path with Sami Zayn that was well liked by everybody.
Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Anyway, that is for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. Dear friends, thank you all so much for joining us on yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. We are so delighted to have you here. If you are a returning listener, viewer, what have you, you know the drill. Thank you so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever it is used to consume our content. We're just so happy to have you here. You know, just keep coming back. It's a good time. Hey, new people, hi, how's it going? Welcome to the show. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you're brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling or you're a veteran of all the weird bullshit, either way, we hope you've had a great time here. We hope it all feels accessible to you, and we hope you want to keep coming back to have a great time with us week after week. You're obviously doing so through one of the mediums by which you can do that, but we got like 4 whole ways you can do that. So you may know one of them, but I'm going to tell you about all the rest, you know, just in case. So, of course, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell. Make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. It's give us that sweet engagement. Check out all of our playlists because Austin has been kind enough to organize all of the arcs that we follow into their own separate playlists so you follow something all the way down without having to skip around a whole lot. It's great. Of course, on top of that, we also have the video element to the YouTube, where you can like see our lovely faces and all the beautiful visual gags we hide in here for those who deign to watch us on the YouTubes. But of course, if you are a fan of the audio only experience, we have you covered there as well. You can find us on 3 of the best places to find your podcast, which would be Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Come give us a listen. Come give us a nice little 5-star rating if you're so inclined. Maybe even a positive little review that tells people like, hey, these guys are pretty cool. Maybe you should listen to them. I don't know. I'm just saying. It helps out. It may not seem like much. Helps us out tremendously. Helps out our numbers. Helps out our word of mouth. So please give us a listen. Download us. And, maybe a little bit of like 5 stars and some nice words if you're so inclined. Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Of course, past that, we have a presence just sitting in this little void and talking to each other for a few hours every week. We also have a Twitter. We have some social media, starting with our Twitter, at Noobs and Knox Pod on Twitter. That's at Noobs, the letter N, Knox Pod on Twitter. Come check us out there. We post memes. We engage in discourse. We put up a post every single time we drop a brand new episode, so you guys always know what the hell's going on. Of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting every Wednesday night, or at least as many Wednesday nights as we can make happen, on TBS at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are watching, of course, AEW Dynamite and tweeting all about it. I've been taking over tweeting duties recently. I always will have at least something to say, even though I'm, in theory supposed to be working on homework simultaneously, but the siren song of Twitter, it keeps calling to me. I don't know what to tell you. And we have fun with that. And of course, if I'm feeling really spicy and have the time for it, on Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT, we are watching What Else? AEW Rampage. It is the show that y'all been waiting on. It's the show that y'all been waiting on us to tweet about, and we do sometimes. So come check us out there. On top of all of that, Dearest Austin likes to keep up with, and maybe even sometimes live tweet about, all of the major company pay-per-views, and we like to tell you about them because, especially for the noobs out there, what better jumping on point than kind of like these big event pay-per-views?
They are
crazy shit.
Yeah, they're not free events, but if you're willing to eat a cost on them, they are a great jumping off point, because then
Absolutely,
storylines are explained to you, and then like, wow, this big exciting show that I can then keep following.
Absolutely. So, my friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Sure. So, for Impact Wrestling on their Impact Plus, that's their streaming service. I believe you also can get this if you subscribe to their YouTube Premium channel. I believe they have that's another thing. March 24th, it is Sacrifice. The numbers don't lie.
And they spell disaster.
For somebody, we don't have any matches yet, but they're going to spell disaster for somebody. I'll tell you that right now. Then for the WWE, we have WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. We got Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the Woo Championship.
Woo.
We got Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown title. Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw title. We have Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
Yeah, I've been hearing some like discoursing and memeing about how the fact that's like pointless or something.
Yeah, but you got to think about the casuals, David. Omos is 7 feet tall, and he's a big giant giant. You got to think about the casuals. It's all about the money.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Who gives a shit about creative, fulfilling storylines? It is about the money.
We're going Hollywood. We got to sell out. That's how it works.
Yep. And then Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, will be defending his belt against somebody.
Oh, we don't know yet.
Not yet. There will be a match to determine it. But it will be. It has been announced. It's between Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston, and Karrion Kross.
Yes.
A lot of good names there. Who do I most want to do? Probably Drew. Probably Drew.
Yeah, Drew
would be
deserves.
who I'd most
After
want on that
Drew
there.
did not get to win at Clash of the Castle, he definitely deserves a little bit of something.
He can have a big old like we're gonna beat the shit out of each other for realsies fight with
Yes,
Genta.
that'd be sick.
But yeah,
who had 88 power on the fucking 2K announcer.
I feel like that was completely
89.
It's like that was 100% accidental.
It was,
but
it sure is funny how they
God damn it
accidentally giving him Nazi imagery
after we almost accidentally gave him a Nazi name.
Dude, I swear to God, the guy that originally pitched Heidenreich as an unfrozen caveman,
he is sneaking it in there.
He's got to be sneaking it in there. I'm telling you, he wants to get that idea over one way or the other.
Yeah.
And then he keeps getting caught by the internet.
Yeah, but that's April 1st and April 2nd is WrestleMania. Also, WrestleMania weekend, a shitload of indie events happen at WrestleMania that I will not all go over here until maybe closer to if I feel like it.
Absolutely.
And then for AEW, we are dropping this the day of Revolution. So the next pay-per-view will probably be Double or Nothing in May.
Yes, I think it is.
There might be a special Dynamite somewhere in there in between.
Oh, we always got to have the special like in between Dynamite, but next pay-per-view is DON, and we obviously know nothing because Revolution's about to happen.
We are recording this before Revolution even happens, so we don't know what's going to go on at Double or Nothing.
We have not a goddamn clue, but Revolution's going to be sick. They got all the stipulations.
Yeah.
Oops. AEW Revolution 2023. Oops, all stipulations.
Actually, I'm looking at it, and there are there is only one normal singles match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, we got the Iron Man match. We got the Texas Death match. We got the
four-way tags, three-way match for the women's 6-man tag titles. The final burial match, but banned from the JS, banned from ringside. Wardlow and Joe is the only normal one-on-one match.
Oops, all stipulations.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Double or Nothing, keep an eye on that as we go forward.
Yeah, hell yeah. And be sure to check out all that good stuff on the Twitter. If you like, for whatever reason, listening to us ramble about wrestling for a few hours at a time. I mean, the voices carry over. It's still us over on the Twitter, so what are you waiting for? Come check it out. But of course, if you want to get in super direct contact with us, you have the option, a little more long form than the, character limits of the Twitter. You can email us at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Tell us what you think about the show. Request things you want to see us cover on the show. Tell us how based and red-pilled you think our hot takes are. Tell us that they're fucking dumb. I don't know. Just start discourse with us or say hi. We love people saying hi. We would love to say hi back. Noobs and knockoutspod@gmail.com. And of course, finally, we are also on Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on Patreon. You can find the link for that in our Twitter. $1 a month gives you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. A shout out to the sugar daddy, Kyle Smith, for his contribution to our show. Enjoy your perks, buddy. If you want to enjoy your perks along with our boy Kyle, be extra special sure to drop us that dollarino, just a singular bone over on the Patreon. Helps us out and just gets you a little bit of bonus time and some parasocial acknowledgement. Who doesn't love that stuff? Hey, so Noobs and Knockouts podcast on Patreon. Once again, the link for that is in our Twitter.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.